We gonna be living like this for the rest of our lives. Yeah. Hey, guys, how you doing? Almost like tuned up and went into the hey, but no. How's it going, everybody? Definitely a late broadcast, but it's AC Lee from the AC Lee and Parlay Pete podcast. I am here all by myself today. Parlay Pete couldn't get in here today, this week, and I had some work stuff I had to do. I had to go to a dinner, and that's why I'm dressed this way. I just didn't change clothes. So I'm here by myself today, and we're getting started late because I get like a performance anxiety. I definitely couldn't be a porn star because I get a little performance anxiety. So it takes a little bit for me to get out here and perform on my own. So I spent like a solid hour and a half just going over my notes, prepping. But that's not what y'all are here for. Y'all are here for a show. And guess what? We have a show. And I want to open the show with, you know what? Sometimes you've got to read the room. We all have things we want to say, and we want people to hear what we're saying. We have a message that we want to get across, and we want people to understand that message and feel that message. Pause. But it's very important to read the room when we're trying to get that message across. Too often we see people talking and nobody's listening. Because what speakers don't realize is that nobody wants to hear what you have to say. What you're saying doesn't apply to them. It doesn't affect them. So they don't really care what you're talking about. So read the room. If you're talking and you see people looking away, dozing off, pouring drinks, walking out, using the bathroom, it's time to wrap it up. It's time to get that Oscars music going. You know, the clapping, the music, get off the stage. You know, sometimes I wish when we go to like these dinners where we have speakers, when we go to these awards, banquets, and so on and so forth, right? We had the Sandman. Because the Sandman, he read the room. The Sandman's the book, right? The Sandman don't come out if the people are listening. If people are enjoying themselves. The Sandman only comes out when you up there making noise that nobody gives a damn about. So just read the room. Understand your crowd, understand the people, and understand the message you're trying to give. Sometimes the message that you're trying to pass is not the message that wants to be heard. And as public speakers, it's important for us to find a message that people want to hear and talk about that. Because if we're just going to talk about what we want to talk about, guess what? We're not always going to capture the crowd. So I say all of that to say, man, read the room. Please read the room. And you know what it's time for, man. NFL free agency is back. Welcome to Atlanta, Kirk Cousins.
Guys, here's what we're doing. We're gonna run the piss out of this
Not no more, baby. We're gonna air it out.
We're getting ready to run the piss out of football. Time to get something going. I got you.
It's time for the Falcons offense to. It is a great week in Atlanta Falcons football. Let me tell you. We signed Kirk Cousins. We signed Kirk Cousins to be the quarterback of the Atlanta Falcons. He signed a 4-year, $180 million contract to join the Falcons. Now, here's the structure. In 2024, he's a $25 million cap hit. 2025, he's a $40 million cap hit. 2026, $57.5 million cap hit, $25 million in dead money. 2026, $57.5 million cap hit, $12.5 million in dead money. So here's the deal. It's a 3-year contract. Falcons fans who are extremely worried, it is a 3-year contract. And if we draft a rookie this year or next year who we fall in love with, it can be a 2-year contract. Because if you like the rookie and the rookie's great, the $25 million dead cap hit's not that bad because you'll be paying a guy on a rookie contract. Then you add the 25 to it, and you still have a quarterback room that's priced at a good place, right? So let's talk about this, man. The Falcons fans, I've really been disappointed with a lot of Falcons fans who are upset about the Kirk Cousins signing. Now, do I think Kirk Cousins is the best quarterback in the league? No. Do I think Kirk Cousins is an elite quarterback? No. But do I think he's a damn good quarterback? Absolutely. Do I think Kirk Cousins is a quarterback who can bring the Falcons back to relevance? Yes. Do I think he can add stability to our franchise? Yes. Do I think he can put asses in seats? Yes. Do I think he can have fans, season ticket holders walking into Mercedes-Benz Stadium, you see it behind me, thinking that, you know what, we got a chance to win no matter who we're playing against? Absolutely. And for the last few years, we haven't had that. Last season with Desmond Ritter, you go into no game thinking that you have a chance to win. Like, you just don't go, oh, yeah, we're just going to win this game. Because we know that Desmond Ritter, or Desmond Shitter, as my good friend Hoos would call him, he'll shit the game away. He'll fumble it on the 1-yard line. He'll throw a pick in the red zone. And the year before, Marcus Mariota. And the last season of Matt Ryan wasn't great. I get it. He's Matty, Ring of Honor guy. Some put him in the Hall of Fame. My co-host Parlay Pete does. I don't. But nonetheless, Matt Ryan, you let him play a terrible season and then you move on, right? But no, man, like, we have somebody. Let's just look at his stats. Last season, before he got hurt, 2,300 passing yards, 18 touchdowns, 5 picks. The year before, 4,500 yards, 29 touchdowns, 14 picks. The year before, 4,200 yards, 33 touchdowns, 7 picks. Year before, 4,200 yards, 35 touchdowns, 13 picks. Year before that, 3,600 yards, 26 touchdowns, 6 picks. Year before that, 4,200 yards, 4,300, 30 touchdowns, 10 picks. His last year in Washington, 4,000 yards, 27 touchdowns, 13 picks. Year before that, 4,900 yards. Year before that, 4,000 yards. Guess what? Since Kirk has been a consistent starter in 2015, he's good for damn near 4,000 yards every year. Now, let's go back and look at the Falcons' passing stats, okay? Because I promise you, they haven't been that good. Atlanta Falcons passing stats. So last year, Desmond Ritter, 2,886 passing yards. Year before that, Marcus Mariota, 2,200 passing yards. Last year of Matt Ryan, 3,900 passing yards. Year before that, Matt Ryan at 45. 2019, 45. 2018, 49. Last time we made the playoffs, 2017, 4,000. So we haven't had that pop, that firepower in Atlanta in a very long time. And here's what Kirk Cousins brings. He brings a competent quarterback, 100 passer rating, 4,000 passing yards, 30 passing touchdowns, and, low teens interceptions. That's what the franchise needs. Okay, I get it. Justin Fields, he looks great on YouTube. He looked great at Ohio State. He looks great when he gets out the pocket and breaks down the sideline for a 60-yard touchdown. But you know what he doesn't look great doing? Delivering passes in the pocket. Now, think about this. Raheem Morris, second-time head coach. He's waited 15 years to get another job. 15 years to get another job. Who do you want to hitch your wagon to? A proven commodity or a project? Not a rookie project that you're drafting. Somebody who's proven in their 3 years in the National Football League that they're not a good quarterback. Let's pull up. Let's just while we're here, let's look at Justin Fields' stats. Because I just don't want to get on here and just talk about Justin Fields without looking at his stats. Last year, 2,500 passing yards, 16 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. Year before, 2,200, 17 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. And the year before that, 1,800 yards, 7 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. He's a turnover machine. And if we really, really want to break it down, it's just not good enough. It's just not good enough. His record's not great. It's like 10 and like 28. I get it. The Bears have not been the ideal situation to win football games, and you look at what they're doing now. They got all of these gadgets for Caleb Williams to be successful. But why would we want that? Why would Raheem Morris take a gamble on that? It doesn't make sense, because if this Atlanta job doesn't work out for him, he's a career coordinator. Not saying that he has to go, he has to walk away from the Falcons without getting fired, because good coaches get fired. But he has to prove a level of competence that he's a head coach guy and not a coordinator anymore. Justin Fields' track record does not speak to that. And think about Arthur Blank. He's trying to sell PSLs. I'm telling you, as a season ticket holder, we want somebody who can give us a good TV show, a good watch. I get it. Kirk Cousins has only won one playoff game in 12 years. But he's won a hell of a lot of regular season games. He's put up a bunch of big numbers. And when you have Kirk Cousins, you go into the game thinking you have a chance to win. Now, if you're down in the fourth quarter, you might not be so happy. Even though he has a season, just a season ago, where he led the league in fourth quarter comebacks. I know y'all don't know. I know y'all don't care about that. But yeah, no, that's what Kirk did. Kirk did.
Oh, did.
Yeah, no, Kirk did. And I think that's important to look at, because guess what? Yeah, that matters. And as a season ticket holder, I'm telling you, we want to watch good football. Yeah, we know Arthur Smith.
Guys, here's what we're doing. We're going to run the piss out of football. I got you. We're getting ready to run the piss out of football.
But running the piss out of the football when you're down by 2 touchdowns, it doesn't give the fans any hope. Watching Desmond Ridder trot out there, it doesn't give the fans any hope. Watching Taylor Heineke trot out there, that doesn't give the fans any hope. Watching a sorry, old, beaten up Matt Ryan trot out there does not give the fans any hope. But you know what? If Kirk Cousins bounced back from this Achilles and he can 1, 2, 3 deliver the ball on target, one of the best deep ball passers in the league, if we can get that, oh man, boy, let me tell you what. The fan base has hope. We're excited about that. That makes us happy. That makes us happy about spending the thousands of dollars that we spend every year to go watch the Atlanta Falcons play football. I promise you. I promise you. And I know you say, hey, he's not going to win us a Super Bowl. Dog, we ain't made the playoffs since 2017. Can we get to the playoffs? Can we win a division? Can we have an above 500 record? Can we put a product on the field that's worth putting on TV? Now, I got to understand, football is business first. Before it's wins and losses, it's business. And what the Falcons have been doing have not been good for business. I'm telling you, I go to the games. We play a lot of away games at home. We built this nice Mercedes-Benz stadium you see behind me just to play road games. I think Kirk Cousins changes that. He changes that. He makes us proud to be a Falcons fans, where at least we know we can win. And we won't forget Desmond Ritter because we ain't got to see him again. And I'll gladly stand up next to you and rise up here today because there ain't no doubt I love this team. God bless the Atlanta Falcons. Falcons fans, don't be dumb. Don't be dumb. I get it. You love the culture. You love the city. You want the black quarterback. You want to bring back Michael Vick. Justin Fields ain't Michael Vick. He's not. He's closer to Marcus Vick than Michael Vick. He's not the second coming of Lamar. He's not 6'3" Cam Newton. He's the guy that maybe he should have changed positions. Just saying. He gets hurt. He's not accurate. The Falcons were smart for choosing Kirk Cousins over Justin Fields. Also, for those of you out there who are like, hey, we could have got Lamar for $200 million. No, we couldn't. Lamar Jackson was not a true free agent. He was on the exclusive franchise tag, which means that Baltimore had the option to match any offer given to Lamar. And guess what? They would have matched any offer that went to Lamar. But also with that, you're trading draft capital to get Lamar. So Bijan Robinson, we don't have him. Our first round pick this year, we don't have it. Possibly our second round pick this year or our first round pick next year, we don't have that. In a team that needs so many players as the Falcons, I don't know if it's worth it. Don't get me wrong. I would love to have Lamar. Lamar's a great player. I was all in on us going after Deshaun Watson when we went after him. But to be able to bring in Kirk Cousins, and he's only hitting the cap for $25 million this year, and if he's playing great, and we want to keep him beyond his age 40 season, we can just kick that can down the road and do what the Saints are doing. I'm with it. We have somebody on our roster who can sell tickets, who can sell jerseys, who can get us back to winning games. And if you don't understand that, your whole perspective is whack. Don't love me when I fade to black. But you know what? Let's also celebrate this. We just traded Desmond Ritter for Rondale Moore. We traded a guy who did absolutely nothing for us but lose games for a guy who can make plays for us. Rondale Moore is going to come in and be wide receiver 3. We got Drake London. We signed Darnell Mooney, who was, I mean, if you look at his film, don't look at his stats because Justin Fields is throwing him the ball. Look at his film. He gets open. He gets open down the field. And guess what? We got that guy. And we got a guy who can throw the ball down the field to him. We don't have Justin Fields. We have Kirk Cousins. Atlanta Falcons are in a good place. Desmond Ritter's off the roster. He's going to hold a clipboard in Arizona for a few years, and then he's going to be selling insurance. And we got Rondale Moore. Rondale Moore as receiver 3, kind of receiver 4, depending on how we use Kyle Pitts in this new offense. I'm excited. Because last year, Rondale Moore, 40 catches, 350 yards. Year before, 41 catches, 414 yards. 2021, 54 catches, 435 yards. So guess what he's good for? He's good for about 45 catches, 400 yards, and a touchdown. And guess what? We don't need him to score us touchdowns especially in the red zone, because we got Kyle Pitts, we got Drake London, 6'4", 6'5". You know what I mean? We got Bijan, who we can hand it off to, or we can put him in the passing game. We have Tyler Algier, who gets yards. We're in a great place right now. We're the favorites to win the division, and we should win the division. And you know what? I'm happy about it. So, Falcons fans, all you need to do is celebrate this week because we have a competent team. We have a team that can win games. We have a team that can get to the playoffs. And we have a team that can advance in the playoffs. So,
We are all here to do what Falcons do.
so Falcons fans, please rise up and celebrate Kirk Cousins, Darnell Mooney, and Rondale Moore. Now we got the draft. Time to go get us a backup quarterback. Time to go get some pass rush. We got good DNs. We got AJ Terrell locking up on one side. We have Jesse Bates ball hawking. Let's go get us a safety. Let's go get us some pass rushers, and let's go find us a cornerback. Stephon Gilmore's still out there. I would love to bring in Gilly, but I know Gilly's not going to sign until August. He ain't trying to do all the extra offseason stuff. He's an established veteran. He's out there. Jadeveon Clowney's still out there. I wouldn't be mad if we go get Jadeveon Clowney to be a good run stopper and a secondary pass rusher. And hell, Odell's free. How much does he cost? Let's do that. I wouldn't be mad at bringing Odell in to round out our receiving core. All right, now let's pivot this conversation a little bit to Kirk Cousins and the money that he's made despite his playoff success. Kirk has been free. Kirk is Matt Ryan light. Kirk is happy to have him, but you want a little bit more. Kirk has bet on himself. He's not bet on security. And when a quarterback bets on security, he stays with the team long term. Kirk's about his money. And because he's about his money, he's been able to go to the market. I think more high-end players, especially quarterbacks, should go to the market. They should allow themselves to become free agents. Because guess what? You go to free agency, you get more guaranteed money. Because the teams who are bidding for you, they need a quarterback. And those teams that need a quarterback, they get a little bit more desperate in their contract negotiations, so you have more leverage. But most of your quarterbacks don't go to the market. They sign the extension, so they don't leave their teams. Now, because Kirk is on his third team, is that an indictment on his play? Maybe. But I promise you, up until this year when Washington drafts Jaden Daniels, they wish they would have had Kirk Cousins through in the interim. I promise you, Justin Jefferson's going to miss him in Minnesota. Jordan Addison's going to miss him in Minnesota. So when you go to the market, you get the opportunity to get more money. And that's all it is. He's been free. And that's why he's been able to get the amount of money that he's got. That's all it is. It's supply and demand. There's a limited supply on competent quarterbacks, and there's a high demand for competency at the quarterback position. That's all it is. Simple economics. Now, Justin Fields. Justin Fields is a backup. Teams are looking at him as a backup. Justin Fields is Black Sam Darnold, just a little bit faster. You guys don't like Sam Darnold, but you love Justin Fields. Leads me to believe that you don't watch football. Leads me to believe that you just have you have an agenda. You have a bias going into this because it's obviously not based on what you're watching on the field. Because if you're taking your evaluation of what you see on the field, there's no way you can believe in Justin Fields. I want to believe in Justin Fields. I want Justin Fields to be great. I wanted Justin Fields to be great in Atlanta. I wanted to be great in Chicago. But he hasn't been. And he won't be. So here's my advice to Justin Fields. Go to Philly. Spend 2 years behind Jalen Fields. Not Jalen Fields. Why is it break? Why is it Jalen Hurts? Sorry, spend a couple years behind Jalen Hurts. Learn from Nick Sirianni. Run a six back offense, and then run your stock up like Baker Mayfield did. Get into a good system. You get your stock up like Sam Darnold did. Hey, he got signed by the Vikings. The 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 Broncos wanted him, and he has an opportunity to start this year. Go do that. That's what's best for you. Hell, maybe, probably not go to the Raiders because guess what? Your old OC was Luke Getsy. He's the OC for the Raiders. And if Luke Getsy doesn't want him, that tells the whole league that he's not a starter. These are things that you have to take into consideration. Is Luke Getsy wrong? I don't know. It'll play out on the field. Or just the field to be selling insurance. But I'll tell you, if he can sell insurance better than he can deliver a football on time and on target, then that may be where he needs to go. I'm rooting for Justin Fields. I want what's best for him. But at the same time, I haven't seen it on the field. So now we're going to talk a little Russell Wilson. And I'm going to make a phone call. I'm not going to preempt this person on the call. But we'll see. Actually, I may actually do a little something different because Parlay Pete texted me back. I just text him to see if he can talk. And I'm gonna call him. Let's see. Not the call I plan on making, but I'm gonna call Parlay Pete. Let's see if he wants to talk to us. After that, we're gonna after the conversation with Parlay Pete, we're gonna pivot to Russ with the Steelers. I'm bitch ain't gonna answer the phone. It's hard to find good friends. But hey, Russell Wilson signed a minimum contract with the Steelers. They're going to go from a 9-8 team, a 10-7 team, to a 10-7 team, to an 11-6 team, and they may make the second round of the playoffs. I think it's great, but I'm more interested in hearing it from a Steelers fan's perspective. Let's see if he's up. Nope. No Steelers fan here. Hold on, I got another Steelers fan in my Rolodex. We gotta get the Steelers fans. I'm telling you. Parlay Pete's gonna call back in about 15, 20 minutes, so more like 30.
Your call has been forwarded to voicemail.
All right, so no phone calls. It's okay, guys. I got it. Russell Wilson goes to the Pittsburgh Steelers on a minimum contract because he's getting paid an ass ton by the Denver Broncos and Sean Payton. I got some comments for Payton a little bit later on that. And good for him. The Steelers now have somebody at quarterback. Now, I do believe that the Steelers are going to make Russell compete for the job because they're not paying him anything. So him sitting on the bench or them cutting him, they don't lose anything by it. But I think he wins the job. Kenny Pickett, not an NFL quarterback. Kenny Pickett is he's cut from the same cloth as Desmond Ridder, right? And the Steelers gained competence at that position. The way the Steelers have liked to play football, the way that they've won playing football is a balanced offensive attack with a good defense. They've bolstered their defense by bringing in Patrick Queen from Baltimore. They still have T.J. Watt. They still have Hayward in the middle. They're going to be fine. They got Minka on the back end. They got Joey Porter Jr. Like they're going to be fine. The defense is going to be solid. But guess what? You got my man.
Guys, here's what we're doing. We're gonna run the piss out of this football.
You got Arthur Smith out there coaching for his life. He wants to get another head coaching job because he felt. I know he feels like Rich McKay held him back. I know that. I'm a Falcons fan. I watched the games, and we loved what we saw from Arthur Smith in the first 2 years. You know, he got us to 7-9, 7-10 with bad football teams. So he knows he's confident that he knows how to win games. But he has to prove it to the owners. And he's going to run the piss out of the football. He's going to run that play action. And Russ is going to take those big, deep shots. And we're going to see a different Pittsburgh Steelers team. They got rid of Deontay Johnson. I think that's a great move. I think he was bad for the locker room. After he didn't go for that fumble, I knew Pittsburgh was like, yeah, we're off this guy. And he's a receiver. Pittsburgh drafts receivers better than anybody in the league. Kyrie's cooking right now. And I'm confident that Pittsburgh is going to have a good wide receiver number 2 for George Pickens. Now, I'd like for them to bring in a vet, maybe a Michael Thomas, a happy Michael Thomas, slant boy. Maybe a Odell Beckham Jr. I'd love to see him with my Falcons because I know what talent he has. Don't get me wrong. But a vet to come in there and teach George Pickens how to be the OG, you know what I mean? I think they need that. I think that'd be great for him. And they're going to be okay. Steelers are going to be a force to reckon with. And hey, back to you Falcons fans. I know y'all like, well, why didn't the Falcons sign Russell? Well, maybe Russell didn't want to sign with the Falcons. Maybe Sierra didn't want to move back to Atlanta full time. Maybe she didn't want to go back to child court because guess what? You move to Atlanta where future is. That custody situation might change. Maybe Russell didn't want to have to deal with the Atlanta drama that could come into his house and could affect him on the field. These are serious things to think about. These are stuff you got to take into consideration, So I think it was a great move by Pittsburgh. I think it was a great move by Russell because he has the talent around him and the style of play that they want. I think is perfect for Russell Wilson. Now, next we're going to get to Saquon Barkley. Saquon Barkley plays for the Eagles. Now, I asked Josh Holsey for 5 minutes. Maybe I'll get it from him. But 1 second as I send out this text. I'm sorry, guys. I got friends. You can't just like hit them up randomly. They have lives and stuff. Let me see. Let me see if I can get something out of Josh Holsey. Told him I was going to call him. I'm not even going to bash him on this pod at all. I have no Josh Holsey jokes on the top.
What do you want?
Hey, Josh, can you give me like a couple minutes on the pod about the Eagles offseason? It's just me.
Do you have a question? Is this just
so?
Minutes? What do you want?
Let's talk a little Saquon. Let's talk about Jason Kelce leaving. Let's talk about how do you feel about the Eagles offseason moves?
What do you think about Devin White?
I think it's a great pickup. I'm not going to call him washed until he gets on the field and shows me that he's washed. Because I supported the Shaq Leonard pickup. I thought it was. I mean, you got him for nothing, and the last time he played, he was good. Then he got hurt, so like I think it's great. I think that the Eagles have solved some deficiencies in Jalen Hurts' game, and this is a negative on him. I think the Eagles are just are doing what they need to do to win, and for y'all to spend money on a running back, which y'all have not done historically under Howie, I think that y'all are moving in the right direction. Personally,
Well, I agree. I think The Eagles have the best offensive line in the league. I think losing Jason Kelsey's hurt, but I'd argue that they drafted his replacement 2-3 years ago now. Like, Landon Dickerson was supposed to be his replacement when they drafted him. We just got lucky to keep Jason Kelsey around a couple more years. But he was a center at Alabama, came and played guard and played right next to Jason Kelsey for 3 years to learn from him. So I'm not really worried about the O-line dropping off that much. I think Saquon Barkley is arguably the best running back in the league when he's healthy. Put him behind arguably one of the best offensive lines in the league. You can't. Obviously, there should be more production in the running game. I think, truthfully, he's an upgrade from DeAndre Swift, but DeAndre Swift also didn't get the ball that much last season, nearly as much as he should have.
I mean,
I think.
Yeah, I know that week I was playing you in fantasy. He should have got the ball more, and you beat me by like a point.
Exactly. So, but I don't think you bring in a running back like Saquon Barkley with expecting an offensive game plan like the Eagles had last year. So, not only do I think the running game will be better because of the personnel, but I also think we should have a better offensive coordinator this year, hopefully. But no matter what, they're going to have a better game plan. Like, they're going to plan to run the ball, which they didn't do last season.
Hey, so I think the biggest place where y'all needed improvement was in the secondary. Obviously, you brought in C.J. Gardner-Johnson. But do you think Keely Ringo steps up and becomes the cornerback that he looked like he was going to be coming the year before he got drafted, and he steps in and actually is a good, I'm not going to say lockdown corner, but do you think you guys clean up the secondary? Because I think that was your biggest problem last year.
I agree. I like Keely Ringo. I think he can be. I think he showed towards the end of the season that he can be definitely a good starter in the league. And that was with very minimal playing time. Like, he didn't touch the field till like week 13. So he didn't really get a lot of time to get his experience under his belt, and he came in and truthfully outperformed Bradbury. I think he's got Slay to learn from, which is awesome. And we know he's a freak athlete. So I like him.
All right, man. Anything else you want to contribute about the Eagles offseason, or anything you've seen in the offseason? I mean, no Parlay Pete here. You can really shit on the Kirk Cousins signing if you want to. I'm here for it.
I got nothing to say on any of that. I have nothing to say on Kirk Cousins. What I will say is I think the Eagles defense, I think Devin White was a huge pickup. And I think Bryce Huff was another one that people haven't been talking about. But Bryce Huff led the Jets in sacks last season. He's a 10-sack guy. So you bring him in, you bring Devin White in, and if the Eagles, I know Hassan Reddick was unhappy with his contract, but if they can keep Hassan Reddick, who's constantly a 10-sack guy, while bringing in those two guys, I think the Eagles front seven is looking really, really good. And I think even the year before, I don't know if Bradbury was ever playing that great as an Eagle. I truthfully think our front seven was just so good, and the Eagles led the league in sacks that year. So when you have a defense that's doing that, the secondary isn't expected. There's not as much expected of the secondary.
You know what, man? That sounds great. I just want to let you know that if you decide to come back for homecoming next year, you have a guest room.
I'm thinking about it, but I gotta go. One of my cousins is getting married in Tennessee in the fall.
Okay.
And then I'm thinking about going to Miami this summer. So if I do both of those trips, don't know if I'll make it, but I'm
you're
still
a West Coast guy. I'm just letting you know, as somebody who is moving to the Atlanta area this summer. You now have a nest place that is going to be way less live and fun than where we normally crash. But it's another place where you can come and make one of your old fashions that we rave about on here and just chill.
Well, I'll let you know, man. I'm getting out there at some point, whether it's fall or next spring or whenever. I'll be back in Atlanta. I somehow always end up back there.
Yeah, I know, man. It's become home for all of us. But hey, man, thanks for your time. And we'll actually catch up pretty soon because we haven't talked about life and stuff and how my life has changed. And I'll tell you like the direction that I'm heading in my
Sounds good, man.
life that matters. All right. Thanks, Josh.
All right. Yeah.
Yep. All right, man. So, hey, thanks to Josh Hosey to pretty much sum up the Eagles piece. I got one of my Steelers fans who wants to talk to me now, so I'm going to call her.
Your call has been forwarded to voicemail.
Let's see. What's the voicemail? So yeah, man, this off season has been absolutely crazy. I mean, we got Derrick Henry going to Baltimore. I think that's beautiful. You got two Heisman Trophy winners in the backfield. You got a team that's committed to the run game, but their pass game is built off of their run game. So it's going to be beautiful to see that because I do think Derrick Henry is going to get the totes that he needs to be effective, but also playing off of what Derrick does really well allows him to be a factor in the passing game without necessarily being a receiver because that play action game is going to be absolutely bonkers. That RPO game is going to be nuts, and you got Lamar and Derrick Henry in the backfield, and if he's getting 7-8 man boxes, we might get MVP season number 3. I'm telling you, we might get MVP season number 3, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm trying to wait around on this call. See what we can do here before I get into the shit show that is the Panthers and the shit show that is the New York Giants because boy, both of these teams are terrible.
Lee,
Naj Benson, how you doing? Got you here live on the pod. What's up, my man?
What's going on, my man?
Man, nothing much. I'm just kind of wrapping up some of this off-season stuff, and I was talking about the Steelers, and I really wanted to get a Steelers perspective in here on this. Please tell me how you feel about Russell Wilson coming to the Pittsburgh Steelers and being the new face of the franchise.
Man, from an offensive standpoint, I think it'll be beneficial. He can run the team. He can run that offense. He can play off script if the offensive line breaks down, which has unfortunately been, a regular thing for us. I'm putting trust in Arthur Smith, taking less off his workload of having to oversee a whole team and just focusing on the offense, the X's and O's. If Russ doesn't come on that BS that he was on last year, I don't know if it was Sean Payton, the system, or Russ. I don't know what it is, but sometimes you need that new scenery. I think we have the offensive pieces in place for him to be successful. So I think it's a good move. I like it more than having to sign Justin Fields. I didn't really want that because the numbers are the numbers, and the tape is the tape. So, but what Russ has done is proven. I think it'll be good.
You know what, man? I'm right there with you, and I talked about that early in the pod on my disappointment with Falcons fans wanting Justin Fields, and I'm like, dog, have you watched the tape?
If you're playing Madden on franchise mode, cool, it makes sense. But if this is real life, and I just don't see it working. It hasn't worked in 2 years. Granted, they never gave him a supporting cast offensively. Didn't give him a line. Doesn't matter who you have at quarterback. You don't have a line, but still, you got to be able to win more than 17 games in 2-3 seasons. So you got to be better.
10. But here's the thing about Fields that I think people don't see is when Fields does have time, he doesn't make good throws.
He doesn't make good decisions, Lee. Good throws, good runs, puts the ball on the floor.
Right, and he gets hurt.
Exactly.
Like, how could you expect Raheem Morris to put his head coaching future in the hands of Justin Fields?
Exactly.
I get it. If we got Bill, and Bill wanted to take take a flyer on Justin Fields, that's different. His legacy is established. Nobody besides the 49ers would call Bill to be a coordinator. Did you hear about
Right.
that?
I did.
How quickly do you think he hung up?
I'm surprised he answered the phone. I think you might have just picked up and just accidentally hit the accept button.
I think he hit the accept button because he assumed Kyle was calling him for some coaching advice.
I really feel like he felt disrespected by the call when it was all said and done. Like, he asked me to be a coordinator. Like, you know who I am? Better check my resume.
But you know what's crazy? There are people, a person that we listen to, who would tell you that Kyle Shanahan's a better coach than Bill Belichick.
Yeah, that's picking up steam.
Isn't that nasty?
It's Jim Jones getting the masses to drink the Kool-Aid, and I'm really surprised that I know what you're talking about. I'm really surprised that he would say that.
Like the difference between a Bill Belichick team and a Kyle Shanahan team is, do you think the Patriots would have not known the overtime rules?
They're practicing that in spring ball.
They're doing that shit in rookie minicamp.
They're getting ready for that for preseason. So that's not an excuse, especially at the professional level. And you're Kyle Shanahan, you like one of the quote unquote most offensively schematic teams in the NFL. I'm not buying it. They just dropped the ball. And, they weren't even expecting overtime. We knew what was going on.
And I believe that Kyle may have known the rules, and he did what he did because of what his numbers told him that, hey, getting that third possession is like in your best interest. But the idea that your players don't know, that would never happen with the Patriots. There's a reason why you never saw Patriots players reach the ball over the pylon to score a touchdown, because they know that if that ball goes out of bounds, it's the most detrimental play in football.
Mm-hmm. Like I said, they're practicing that in spring ball. Just you may never use it, but Bills button up on so many levels in all three phases of the game. It's really amazing to think about.
Hey, I want to throw something else at you real quick, and I'm gonna let you go.
Yeah, what's up?
The Mike Tomlin disrespect, the way that the Sean McVays, the Sean Paytons of the world are elevated above Mike Tomlin. As a black man, as a Steelers fan, how does that resonate with you? Because I'm a Falcons fan, but I'm a football fan first. I'm a black man before all of that stuff. And I go, yo, no, this isn't right. I get it that we're not happy with the Steelers' recent playoff success.
Right, given the history, right.
But
I'll tell you this, Lee. It goes beyond being a black man. You can put some of the greatest coordinators and the greatest coaches in today's game, give him the teams that he's had in the past 10 years with all the chaos and dysfunction and just playing through it, being able to pull out wins and pull out winning seasons. Those coaches aren't going to be able to do that. I'm not saying they're going to fail, but I'm saying it's not a light task. You get what I'm saying?
Do you know what Sean Payton did when things weren't perfect in New Orleans?
Not.
He went 7-9, and then he jumped ship when he realized he couldn't win. And Mike Tomlin still gives
you don't want to tarnish the legacy. Mike Tomlin's staying on the ship, baby. And he's dropping off baggage.
Yeah, and here's what I don't think people really understand about the Pittsburgh organization. Mike Tomlin does not have as much say-so as people think that he does.
This season, I don't think he does. Granted, the GM had Khan and Rooney said they're putting their hands into the coaching mix and some of the player personnel mix going forward. But I think in years past, I think he did have a say-so, especially on defense. And, it took them a while for them to not be so tight-pocketed with the money. We would never spend on free agency. We would never go get the guy, go get, the help. We just draft and develop, which is cool, but sometimes you don't have time to play that waiting game. But now with this new GM that we got last year, I like he's been aggressive. He's been more hands-on. So I think the future is bright as long as he keeps, taking big swings and we keep capitalizing on that. So now it's time, like we said, we got our quarterback for the next year. So hopefully he can, get us over the hump. And by over the hump, I'm really just asking for one playoff win. At this point?
Do you really think Kevin Colbert was listening to Mike Tomlin when he was building that team? You think Mike Tomlin could come in there
know.
and
work together?
Think about Ben. Think about Ben. Do you really think Mike Tomlin wanted to keep Ben as long as they kept him and not draft a legitimate replacement?
No. No, of course not.
And that's the point I'm getting at, because people beat up Mike Tomlin about the team not moving on from Ben when they did.
We were 2 years past the expiration of the big man. I can't recall exactly the quarterback that came out in those past 2 years, but I know Big Ben stayed 2 years too long.
And I really hate that when y'all lost to Cleveland in the playoffs, Mike Tomlin gets beat up for that loss. Mike Tomlin did not throw those picks or have those
pick six first play of the game,
or have the bad snap that went over Ben's head. There is nothing about coaching that fixes that. And y'all were down 14? Y'all were down like 14-0 early.
14-3, 14-0, something around there.
You end up losing by a touchdown, and it was like that last touchdown was like a bullshit touchdown. But if we're being real, if we're being honest, that big lead was not from a lack of preparation. It was not poor coaching. It was poor execution. Obviously, poor execution. There's nothing that we can discuss that says, hey, Mike Tomlin didn't have the boys ready for that one. And outside of the Jacksonville playoff loss, which I think that Jacksonville team should have beat New England. So I don't hold that. I don't beat y'all up for that one. You're getting beat by Bill Belichick.
Yeah, that's been in our DNA more than it should have.
Yeah, like you get beat by Bill Belichick.
But it's Bill Belichick, right?
I know.
I said, they capitalize on all three phases of the game. You can't beat them special teams, can't beat them offensive versus defense, and vice versa, defense or offense. They're just so buttoned up and ready for all things you throw at them. It's really so cerebral on his behalf to have a team that well prepared.
Yeah, no.
Whether it's,
It is. How do you feel about Deontay Johnson getting out the door? I'm sorry. I said I was going to just ask you one more question, but fuck it. We're here.
Oh, goodbye. I think I told you earlier this week, that's Phillip Rivers in a wide receiver position. He's so sporadic. He's so easy. He's going to be high. He's going to be cold. He's going to give you big numbers. He's going to give you, his effort wasn't there this season. His hands has always been the constant reoccurring problem that you can't fix. And I don't think that a lot of Steelers fans will say, oh, yeah, he's our number one. But let's be honest, we were forced to believe he was number one because he was the oldest, he was the veteran of the room. He's only been in the league for what, 4 years? 4 seasons?
Yeah, bro.
So I don't think we're missing anything. We draft and develop wide receivers like no other. So I'm really not worried about it.
Once he didn't try to recover,
we can find another wide receiver.
Once he didn't try to recover that fumble, I was like, he's out of here. Like, bro, you're not Cam Newton. You're not that valuable that you get to not.
You're not AB.
Yeah, God, no.
You're not AB. Mike Tomlin put up so much with AB. Not saying that it was right, but
no,
you can't be giving that half-ass effort.
Najee, it was right with AB, because when AB was playing for the Buccaneers, he was the best receiver on their team.
Can't dispute that.
He was better than Mike Evans. He was better than Chris Godwin with Tom Brady. No. AB was the best receiver on that team. And he showed it in the Super Bowl. When Tom needed a play, if he's going to a receiver, he's going to AB. About business, always open. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But dog, man, we got to catch up on some personal shit, because I know you just had a major transition. We'll talk about that. Thanks for your time, man. I love you, dog. And man, it feels good to be in here cooking like Colin. You know what I'm saying? No J Mac over here,
Oh yeah,
baby.
love always, bro. The show is always gonna hit every time.
All right, dog. I'll
Get
holler
J
at you.
Mac off of there. I need to get you in. I'm gonna shoot Kyle your resume later tonight. See what's
Hey,
going on.
I already let him know, man. Boy, I get J Mac up out of there, and that'll make my wife happy because we'll actually move to California.
Damn right.
All right, dog.
All right, Lee.
All right. So yeah, we're gonna wrap up hour one right there. We're at 55:30. That was Najee B. That's my guy, big Steelers fan, big supporter of the pod. One of my ghost writers. We talk about topics all week. Parlay Pete actually did call, so we're gonna get Parlay Pete on the phone. Hey, hour two, guys. Hour freaking two. Let's get Parlay Pete on to start hour two. Watch this.
KC Lee,
Parlay Pete, how we doing, baby?
we are doing just fine. Off a little bit of a Percocet over here. I don't know if that's safe to say, but
I mean, as long as it's prescribed,
we're
you're
doing
good.
pretty good.
Yeah, hey man, good to hear, dog. Happy to hear your voice, man. Was really looking forward to talking to you in the pre-production because, like, bro, we're about to be gym mates. It's official.
Yeah, no, it is, and of course we've got just so much, that had happened this week. I hate that obviously I had to deal with what I'm dealing with, but it was just so much that went on, and specifically, of course, with the Falcons.
So here's what I'm gonna do, Parlay Pete. Mr. Turner was not available to talk to me at midnight on a fucking Thursday night, obviously.
You mean on a Friday?
Yeah, on a Friday. But I did talk to a Steelers fan. That's who I was talking to when you originally called. We talked about the Steelers. Josh Hosey gave me a solid 5 minutes, man, to talk about the Eagles. I'm just gonna open the floor, man, and talk about what I know you want to hit the Falcons. Obviously, I've already shit on our fans, man. And let me tell you, I talked about this with Justice earlier in the week. My issue with our fans and their complaints is the fans who are complaining don't pay for tickets, and they don't realize how shitty it is going to the stadium knowing that Marcus Mariota or Desmond Ridder or Taylor Heineke is behind center. And you've paid thousands of dollars to watch this.
Yeah. I don't think that it's just our fans. I think it's the national media kind of perspective too. And I say that because they're the ones not watching the game. We are the ones watching the game. They're the Josh Holseys of the world, right? that they check the box where they're like, oh man, what's new? Falcons, lost a game they shouldn't have, or oh look, they won a game that they shouldn't have, but they did it barely. Type, it's those are the national people I'm talking about. So I just wanted to get that straight. I don't think it's just the fans here. I think it's a national perspective too.
Well, see, here's the thing, Parlay Pete. I don't respect the national perspective because I know they don't watch our games.
That's true. Yeah.
So I don't expect Stephen A. Smith to have something positive to say about us signing Kirk Cousins to what we signed him for, because I'm like, dog, part of being an owner of a football team is generating revenue. And you want to sell PSLs. Desmond Ridder does not sell PSLs or jerseys. Kirk Cousins sells
Desmond
both.
Ridder didn't sell hope. And, wasn't that pretty much Barack Obama's whole thing headed into his presidency in 2008? It was hope, right?
Yeah.
Desmond Ridder wasn't giving anyone hope. I tell you what, he wasn't giving the paying fans hope, because we knew what it was. And we knew what it was when we got Mariota too.
Yeah.
We knew exactly what it was. It was oh shit, now our franchise quarterback is leaving. We're not getting the hometown kid that everybody wanted. We have to backpedal into a guy that started in the league. And this is the only guy that's available. that's willing to come here, who's a good moral guy, who can do some things with his legs. Let's bring him in. And he's a familiar name. He's won a Heisman. People are familiar with him. And we saw obviously how that worked out. We knew that wasn't going to work either when it happened. We knew that we weren't going to win football games. Like we knew we weren't going to win football games, and that is why the decision to sign Kirk Cousins shouldn't have been a surprise to anyone. I tell you what, it's a surprise to people that didn't think that Arthur Blank didn't want to do better. Because, yeah, I think we were all a little disappointed that Bill Belichick, of course, wasn't the coaching pick. But none of us were pissed off that it was Raheem Morris, because I think we all agree that Ra is a good coach. Like, I don't think anyone doesn't think that he deserved another head coaching job. We just didn't understand why, if we had him in the building 3 years prior, why he didn't get that look, considering he coached the team a majority of that year, why they just didn't keep him then. And then on top of that, you did have Bill Belichick. So that's what made that a weird move. But this shouldn't have came as any surprise to anyone that we brought in Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins was the best quarterback available. Free agent, draft, or trade. He was the best quarterback available this offseason.
And with him being a free agent, we didn't lose any.
Exactly.
We didn't lose
and that's
anything.
what I was literally just about to say. You won both ways. You didn't have to give up anything, any assets to get him, which was something you were going to have to do to get Justin Fields or to trade up in the draft. Like, you were going to have to give up stuff to get those guys. And oh, by the way, you don't know what those things would become in reality.
Hey,
even
man,
if you're trading up for them, you can say with all your chest that fucking Caleb Williams is going to be Patrick Mahomes 2.0 or whatever. Like, you could say that Drake May is Justin Herbert 2.0. Like, these are all things that sound good in theory, but nobody really knows. I tell you what, we do know what Kirk Cousins is.
Hey,
and
Parlay Pete, I went through his stats, and since 2015, as a full-time starter for Washington, every year he's had 25 passing touchdowns, and his worst season was 2019 in Minnesota with 3,600 yards. Every other year, he's been over 4,000.
Hey, your sound went down a little bit, by the way, when you were just talking there.
Okay.
I did hear what you said. It just went down a lot.
Okay, yeah, but like he's 4,000 passing yards, and I talked about owning an NFL team. Yeah, it's about winning games. But the first thing is about winning, is about making money and putting asses in seats.
Yeah, it's about making money. And making money requires your fans to spend money. And so, sure, there are going to be pushback, but everybody already knew that there was going to be pushback on no matter what direction they went in.
Yeah,
I think. So there was no way of avoiding that. But with Kirk Cousins, you know what you're getting. You're getting, in my opinion, I asked this question to you Monday, I think, or Tuesday, once we found out the news was coming, that he was going to be the quarterback. I said, name a better quarterback in the NFC? Can you definitively say that there's a better quarterback than Kirk Cousins in the NFC?
And the name I tossed at you was Brock Purdy with no confidence.
Yeah, and even with Brock, because I like Brock Purdy. I mean, I'm not trying to be funny. Let's think about how the 49ers ended up getting Brock Purdy. They got him, Mr. Irrelevant, right, 2 years ago. And realistically, he gets in that position because Trey Lance stays injured. Who were the 49ers trying to get even before Trey Lance? They were trying to get Kirk Cousins.
Yeah.
That's who they wanted. Kyle Shanahan specifically wanted Kirk Cousins. That's who he wanted. And we know why that's what he wanted. Because he can throw the fucking football. And what was the Falcons' biggest deficiency last season? Throwing the fucking football.
Bro,
So
we knew on 3rd and 7 is punt time.
It's punt time, or we better sure as hell hope that they fall for this halfback draw. Like one of those type things, like to where it's like, man, they better fight on this halfback draw, like because you did know that you were going to be punting. You knew that you were going to be punting. You knew that Drake London was going to be put in press coverage.
Yep.
If not double team. You knew that Kyle Pitts was going to run a slant, And it was
He wasn't-
if the ball did get thrown his way, it was gonna be 15 yards down the field past him.
or he wasn't going to get
And then there
looked
was
at.
no other viable receiver. I mean, I guess maybe Bijan in the flat, but you have to think that was going to be covered. And then by that time, Desmond Ritter doesn't have enough time to run, so he's going to get hit. Or Taylor Heineke, whoever you want to throw back there. They've only got 2.5 seconds to throw the ball. So, and that's another thing too. Kirk Cousins has got one of the quickest releases. There's a lot of positives to take away from the Falcons bringing in Kirk Cousins.
And he's one of the most accurate downfield passers in the league. And I don't know if I sent this cut up to you today, but I saw it. Darnell Mooney gets open downfield. And Justin Fields.
I saw it, that he's basically the most overthrown player in the NFL.
And Justin Fields is throwing the ball to the fans.
Yeah.
And look, Justin Fields
I wasn't mad at the Mooney signing. Like you, I agreed. I thought that Tyler Boyd would have been the better pickup if we were going to go that route and pay that type of money. But I'm not mad at it. He's a younger player. He's younger than Tyler Boyd.
And I didn't know we were going to make the Rondale Moore move either. You know what I mean? Like
right. Which honestly, underrated pickup. And I'm going to be the first to say it. I could easily see this guy being a Turbo Taylor in this offense,
bro. Because to get more for Desmond Ritter, who's a liability, right?
Yeah. Well, right, and right. Being that's how you got him is what makes it so great.
Instead of us getting a 6th round pick, we got a guy who's going to give us 400 yards, 45
I think he's going to give us more than that.
His career has been 400 yards, 45 catches, and a touchdown.
Yeah, but who's throwing him the ball? I mean, Kyler Murray he's been there 3 years.
Yep.
Kyler Murray has not played in half of his career. So a year and a half worth of football, it wasn't Kyler Murray throwing him the ball either.
Now it's Colt McCoy and guys who.
How many head coaches did he have in that span? He had 3, or was it only 2? I guess it was. I guess Cliff was there. So
yeah, he had Cliff and he had the Eagles ODC.
His rookie year was Nuke there. Nuke was still there his rookie year, right?
Yep.
So I mean that's kind of target shares. Zach Ertz. I mean, so it Hollywood Brown. Like there were guys that were going to get the ball there to go along with the bad quarterback play. I don't think that the verdict's out on Rondale Moore. Yeah, is he 1,000-yard guy? No. But can he be better than the 400 yards and 1 touchdown? I think so.
I think Kirk could get him 600 or 700 in 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying. We got an underrated pickup in Ray McLeod. I know that he's probably going to be more return man.
I didn't see that. I didn't see that. I didn't know we got Ray.
We got Ray McLeod, from the 49ers. Underrated pickup. We re-signed Cordell Hodge. So your wide receiver room is pretty much set. I mean, I put it this way. I would be shocked if they did actually draft a wide receiver now.
It doesn't make
second round.
It doesn't make sense. If we can get Odell Beckham for $2 million, I wouldn't be mad. Just to be OG.
Yeah, I tell you what, he would be nice because then Cordell Hodge is probably relegated to special teams, and then of course, injuries always happen. You could always have a guy, but those are your 6 wide receivers on the depth chart, right? I mean,
and Kyle Pitts, is a
de facto wide receiver.
Yeah.
And of course, Bijan's going to be getting balls his way too. Pause.
Hey yo. Hey, Parlay Pete. You know what?
What?
I'm in a better spot to go to away games with you this year too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because home games are not a weekend away. It's me leaving the house on Sunday morning and coming back Sunday night.
That is true. Which I didn't even get to say that because you did. I think I did see that. I think I saw you said something about that. So you did in fact get a position. Is that?
I got a position. Gonna be working out of a Marietta office, and what they told me was the furthest I could travel on a day is to Columbus, but I'm still home by dinner pretty much every night.
Right. Well, congratulations, first of all, there. If that is in fact going to be the job you do accept,
it is. I like what it is, and I got a family member in the field, in that same field, and we've been wanting to start a business together for some years, but we haven't found the industry that works. And he's more technically sound in that field than I will ever be. But I got the
Yeah.
management piece, and his younger brother is an accountant, so we have a guy to manage the books. So we're looking at like 10, like in our 10-15 year plan, we're likely going to be starting our own little thing there.
Well, congratulations, obviously on that. That's huge.
No, it is,
To
man.
get
Like,
you out of the sticks.
get me out of the
Um,
sticks, man. We're gonna be at the fucking Windy Hill Sports Club,
yeah, getting executive workouts on. Playing a little ball on Saturday morning.
Yeah, I talked to the wife about it. I said, "Hey, look here, man. I'm joining this exclusive sports club. I'll get the family plan, but I got to commit to you working out 3 days a week, or you're going to fucking what's that shit that Meg Thee Stallion promotes? What's that fitness club? Planet Fitness. I'm like, well, you going to Planet Fitness? I'm not paying this much money for you not to go to the gym.
It'll be worth it, and I think with new members too, they get you guys to where it starts off. They'll give you like 4 free trial classes that you can take, and you kind of make the decision. You can do the same class 4 times, or you can do 4 different ones. It doesn't matter, but like then you can kind of decide if that's something you want to do. I know that the boxing thing is really good. Of course, Pilates. They got a lot of stuff. They got the dance class. There's a lot of different classes.
Well, she's actually good about, like, she goes to the gym and like she lifts weights when she goes. But we're looking at getting that family package with the daycare, so we can drop blow off in there if we go together.
Yeah, they do. They do have a daycare. They do have that as well. Yeah.
Yeah. So, bro, dog, we're so.
Now I'll say this much: traffic over there is it's a beast. But if you're living in the area, it won't be as bad because you're closer to it. But
I want to live in Vinings.
Yeah, so 285, or there's probably somewhat of a street way to get there too, I'm sure. But
yeah,
no, you'll be happy. Matter of fact, you won't be that far away from Briggs. Briggs is like in that Smyrna.
Yeah.
Vinings is close. There's like the next exit from his house, but
yeah. So we're looking at that area.
Which shout out to Briggs. I know he's a frequent listener. He could be too.
Oh yeah. Shout out to Briggs. Yeah, he's a frequent listener, and he tagged us in that Boosie post earlier this week, and I appreciated that because we don't like that nigga nonsense.
Well, that's what goes on at the game, and it is one of those things that I think that people do need to start taking notice of, and we gotta start to account for these type of things.
Hey, Parlay Pete, I got a question for you.
That's the tomfoolery, that's been going on that doesn't need to be going on. And look, and back to the kind of the Kirk Cousins thing, piece with it. They're kind of overshooting this Kirk Cochain thing. Look, I like it. Look, I get it. Everybody does need to get excited about this guy. We need to get excited about it. I don't like them overselling the chains aspect of this thing.
Yeah, no, the Dirty Birds chains with the kids, that shit made me cringe. Like, hey man, get this shit off my fucking screen.
Yeah, I get it. He's got the video of him on the plane and all that stuff. Like, I genuinely understand, but I get it. Atlanta hip hop. I get it. But
I want to see Kirk at First Baptist.
He said at First Baptist.
Yeah. First Baptist of Alpharetta or some shit like that. That's where I want to see Kirk Cousins, because I know that's his happy place.
Yeah.
Hey, I got a question. I got a question for you, and it's a topic that I saved for when I got you on the phone.
Okay.
As a fan, as a paying fan, because I think it matters, because paying fans and just fans who watch on TV are totally different people. I hardly respect you fans who don't pay to watch games, being honest. Would you rather have a racist owner or an incompetent owner?
You said a racist owner, or your sound went out a little again there.
Would you rather have a racist owner or an incompetent owner?
Racist one.
You know what? I'm with you, and here's where it came from. I'm thinking about the Panthers, where they kicked Jerry Richardson out the door because of some not so flattering things that he did. But I'm like, that racist Jerry Richardson ran a better ship than Dave Tepper, who's incompetent as an NFL owner. If I was a Panthers fan, I'd be screaming, "Bring Richardson back." I know Cam couldn't get tattoos. He couldn't get
he was
dreadlocks.
considered a racist one too, wasn't he?
Who, Tepper?
No, Richardson.
Yeah. No, I'm saying I would rather have Richardson, the racist, than Tepper, the incompetent fuck.
Yeah. I mean, that's an easy way of even looking at that franchise alone. I look at the Redskins, right? Or the Commanders. Look at them. They've had incompetency oozing in that organization since like 1998, I think, is when Allen had bought the team. And
Bro,
he
bought that team at 35. He bought that shit at our age.
Yeah, hedge fund baby.
Like, what the fuck do we look like running an NFL team?
Who knows? Maybe it'd be better than maybe some of these guys. I mean,
probably better than
and I say that because we actually watch football. I mean, I don't know how much football he was watching, but he certainly didn't know how to hire football people. I mean,
I'll tell you what, day one, if I own the Falcons, I'm firing Rich McKay.
Look at like the two times that the Commanders / Redskins / Washington football team. Look at how many times they made the playoffs in that span. They made it like 3 times, and the 3 times that they did make it, it was like Joe Gibbs and Mike Shanahan. Like, so basically, the best football coaches that he possibly could have brought in are like the reasons that they ever went to the playoffs. I don't think Gruden never went, right? They didn't go to the playoffs with him. Or did they?
No, because Ron Rivera took Heineke to the playoffs.
And then Rivera took them as well. I'm telling you, literally since '98, they seriously, off the top of my head, I think they've only been in the playoffs 5 times.
Let me see. I'm gonna look.
So in like 26, 27 years of owning the team, they went to the playoffs like 5 times. And I don't remember, they won the division, I guess, twice. But I remember like Santana Moss, one of those years they went. That was like Joe Gibbs.
Let's see. They made it. They made it in 2020, 2015, 2012, 2007, and 2005. So 4.
And that was it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So incompetency can truly ruin a franchise, and albeit that being one of the original NFL teams / traditional teams or whatever in the league. The fan base, it was going to be hard to get rid of the fan base, but you start talking like you do that with a franchise like the Houston Texans or something like that, man, and you start to not have a franchise, period.
Yeah,
Jaguars, something like that, one of those teams that have a team, it just gets hell. The Panthers are still real. Think about it, the Panthers have been to 2 Super Bowls, but that's another still relatively new franchise that could easily, just not be fans anymore.
Hey, you got some time to talk about the Panthers and their terrible trades?
Yeah, let's go for it.
All right, let me pull it up real quick. Okay.
Well, I can tell you, I know that Brian Burns was a 2nd and a 5th, and they got offered a 1-1 and a 2.
So here we go. Yeah, they got the 1-1 and the 2 from the Rams that was offered, and they got it, and they end up trading for a 2nd and a 5th. And the Giants made him the 2nd highest paid pass rusher in the league, which is fucking nuts. The Bryce Young deal.
That Giants defensive line is going to be nasty.
It is, but Brian Burns was overpaid, but it may work out. The deal to move up for one to get Bryce Young, they traded a 1st round in 23, a 2nd round in 23, a 2nd round in 25, A pick that ended up being the number 1 overall pick in 24, and DJ Moore. And then for CMC, they traded a second, a third, a fourth, and a fifth. If you're
And they could have easily even for a running back that was injured somewhat, they could have gotten a 1 for him. I think that it would have been a contender. Like, it would have had to have been a late 1. Like, I always thought the Bills would have been a perfect team before, for this past season, obviously. The Bills, to me, were always just like the perfect team to go out and just go get them.
Yeah.
But obviously the 49ers were too, and that's a competent front office, though. So they were, of course, going to be able to sneak them, right? I mean, this is the same franchise that snuck the shit out of the Bears. The Bears traded up 1 spot to draft Mitchell Trubisky because they were so afraid that somebody else was going to trade up the fee to take him.
Hey, you know that guy?
That they gave them like a 2.
You know
like
the guy
a 2.
The guy who made that trade is Ryan Pace is in our front office.
Yeah, I know, and my hope is that he stays far away from anything that regards transactions. He should be strictly maybe, well, even though if he's a part of the scouting, that's a bad look too, isn't it?
Nah, I think I want him with Rich running the soccer team.
Or just not here at all.
Well, yeah, I mean, look here. I think he's one of the guys in Arthur Blank's ear who said, no, I think we should go with Raheem, not Bill. Because Bill's going to fire his ass.
Well, yeah, because Bill wanted to know what his role was going to be, and he probably wasn't going to really have an answer. He was going to look like, you know how, you ever seen Bruce Almighty with Jim Carrey?
Yeah.
There's a funny, famous scene from that movie where Steve Carell is Evan Baxter, the news reporter, and Bruce kind of just makes him start talking gibberish. That's how he was going to look if Bill asked him what he did. And he, and Evan, he didn't know how to change his, he couldn't change anything because obviously Bruce is kind of controlling it. But once at the end, once he keeps saying it, he's just laughing and putting his head down because he can't say anything else.
Hey, think about this, Parlay Pete. What does Ryan Pace say when Bill goes, so when you traded up to 2 for Mitchell Trubisky, what were you hearing? Because I was involved in that same draft.
Right. Basically, what did you see?
You don't get fired for moving up to get Deshaun Watson or Patrick Mahomes, which I don't knock anybody for not drafting Patrick Mahomes.
But the crazy thing is the Chiefs traded up 18 spots to get him.
Yes. And that's because I listened to Andy Reid on Cowherd last week, and he talked about the synergy that he has with Brett Veach. And early in the league or early in his coaching, Brett Veach was like a intern where he was at. So he trusts Brett Veach, and he knows that Brett Veach knows what he's looking for. So if Brett says, hey, we're getting this guy, Andy is confident in it. And I'm just sitting there like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. So shout out to Brett Veach for getting Mahomes. But what the fuck did you see on film that said, hey, Mitchell Trubisky's the guy?
Yeah, and he would have been dismissed that day, As soon as everyone in the office knew that Arthur was going to hire him, he probably would have been dismissed that day.
Nah, them niggas would have been, hey, Arthur, can we get some FedEx boxes, please, so I can pack my stuff up in the box that it's going to ship to?
Well, right. Well, you're saying the other Arthur. I'm saying Blank.
Yeah.
As soon as Blank was going to sign Bill, I mean, at that point, Smith his ass was already, shipped back to wherever the headquarters is. What's that, in Washington? Or no, it's in Memphis, right?
That number hasn't. The good number hasn't changed.
Yeah. So he was already, he was halfway there. He was the next day. But Yeah, but yeah, they could have probably phoned him in, and just said, "Hey, we're going to take it out of the pay, or we'll add it to the pay rather."
Hey, what are your thoughts on the Chargers just pretty much gutting their roster? Like Jim just coming in saying, "Hey, we're in cap hell." Mike Williams
You know,
go. Austin
th-
Eckler
th-
go.
well, we knew Eck was gone. I'm gonna be honest. I think that he was the most obvious person that wasn't coming back, just because he was a free agent and he underwhelmed anyways.
Yep.
So we knew he was gone. Now, I'm not really surprised they got rid of Mike Williams either, because he's often injured and like I don't know, he wasn't worth the money they gave him. Like he was gonna be gone. They paid him too early. I was surprised obviously that Keenan Allen got traded today. Especially considering they only got a 4 for him. I mean, I thought they maybe could have at least got a 3.
I think it's the money.
Keenan Allen was probably coming off his best season in like 4 years, and maybe that's why they got rid of him now, because he was coming. He's kind of been an often injured player too, but he definitely posted some of his best numbers this season. Like he single-handedly kept Josh Holtby's team afloat. Him and AJ Brown and Jalen Hurts literally kept this man's team afloat. And of course, he'd have his Gus Edwards 10 carry, 48 yards, 3 touchdown day or something to go with it, right? But Keenan Allen was a constant on his team, I can remember. So, I tell you what, this is what shocked me the most, and maybe it makes the most sense that they got rid of the offensive players, because this is such a rich wide receiver draft.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that is why. Plus, Keenan's got to be 33, maybe 34 even.
I think he's like 32. I think he's my age. Let's see.
Really?
I'm pulling it
Feels
up.
like he's been in the league a while.
He's 31.
Really? Nah, but he's
been in the league since
at least 10 years.
Yeah, he's been since 2013.
Okay, so he's been in the league a minute. But this is a wide receiver. One thing's for sure, now we know where they're going at 5.
Brock Bowers.
They're definitely going receiver. My thought is that maybe they're going to try and move up so they can get Harrison. Because they drafted Quentin Johnson last year out of TCU.
Wasn't good.
He wasn't good, but he's going to be on the team, so they're going to have to roll with him. He's a big receiver, so they're going to have to roll with him. Palmer wasn't bad. Not a bad dude. Not a bad receiver. He wasn't bad. I thought he was pretty solid. Like whenever the Chargers were on TV, it seemed like he was the one catching a lot of balls too. So, interesting that they would cut both receivers instead of keeping one and then cutting one of the pass rushers. But obviously, both pass rushers were willing to renegotiate the deals. I'm curious as to what the renegotiation was, because I was really hoping, as much as I really wanted Max, I was going to be okay if we got both on like a 1 year 11 here, right? Like I would have been like really cool with that to see.
Bosa wasn't going to take $11 million.
Well, if he got cut, what was his market going to be? He hasn't played in 2.5 years.
You're talking about a guy who held out on his rookie deal. I'm with you.
Yeah, but what was he going to expect to get? Let me just look this up real quick while we're here.
I'm looking at his stats right now. His rookie year, 10.5 sacks. His second year, 12.5. Next year, 5.5. The next year, 11.5. 2020, 7.5. 2021, 10.5. 2022, 2.5, and last year, 6.5.
Yeah, these last 2 years of production, that's about what every Falcons pass rusher has done.
His numbers aren't there, but he has the name, and his grandfather, and that matters.
Yeah, he's a mob ties.
Real mob ties, not the Drake mob ties.
Yeah, and so I don't know. It wouldn't adjust, and plus he'll be 29 this off season, so he's creeping up in age too. But I digress. I guess he only played 9 games last year, so if you double that, that's technically a 13 sack season.
Yeah,
if he holds the same production.
But he only played 9 games, and that's the problem.
Yeah, but the year before was still a bad year, and he only played in 5 games. But it was still a bad. I don't know. It wasn't good. And so
Look, I'm not a Joey Bosa fan.
Right.
Like
I guess I would have been okay with him getting cut because then did you? I'm sure you saw the rumor or heard the rumor that we did offer Daniil Hunter.
Yeah.
And the Texans offer was better, and I understand why it was better. They gave him basically a fully guaranteed contract, and so plus the Texans, state of Texas, of course, no state income tax, that helps too. A team on the rise, second round team that was. Were they up or was it game tied? I forgot. What was it at halftime? I think they were up or it was tied. It was either tied or they were up.
It was a close game before they got their ass kicked.
Yeah, matter of fact, no, they were up. It was 7-3, and they ran back the punt to go up 10-6.
Yeah,
before the half.
I'm looking at the Daniil Hunters.
So you start talking about that's a team that in its first year with the first year quarterback, first year head coach was a half away from the AFC Championship. So it was appealing to go to that team. Them getting Joe Mixon. I would even say that the Texans probably have had the best offseason because of that signing. And I think Joe Mixon, in my opinion, is an upgrade over Devin Singletary. So
yeah, you ain't got to think that too hard.
And I like their wide receivers, but I feel like maybe they'll go out and get one more. I wouldn't surprise me if maybe a guy like Odell went there, but because at this point we don't even know what is Odell Beckham, right? Like, what is Odell Beckham? I don't know. They could go out and get Mike Williams. Like, they could go out and get someone else to add to that room with Tank Dill and they got Noah Brown. I know he was pretty solid for them down the stretch. Nico Collins obviously was really good. Dalton Schultz. Like, they've got a really nice nucleus going there. I like what the Texans did this offseason.
Oh yeah, and they offered they gave Mixon a 3-year extension too. They really believe in him.
And, Jeff Okudah. They got Jeff Okudah off of us, who I didn't think Jeff was bad for us. Like, I would have been happy if we bought Jeff back, but I think that them not bringing Jeff back was more along the lines of they're potentially going to go after a corner probably now in that second round slot, especially because we've kind of addressed wide receiver.
Yep.
And I think that Jeff was solid for us, and I guess I'll just leave it at that. Jeff was solid.
The Jets have been shopping Alan Lazard, if you care.
I don't think anyone cares. I think Aaron Rodgers got him kind of paid.
Hey, what are your thoughts What are your thoughts on Mac Jones to the Jaguars? I don't think it's going to be a quarterback competition.
He gets to save his money, man. Apparently, he's from the area, so he can Danny DeVito his way to his parents' house. He doesn't have to have a house anymore.
He does, but I don't think Trevor Lawrence's job is as sewed up as many people from my hometown would like to believe.
I think it is. I don't think Mac Jones is taking his job.
I don't think Mac Jones is taking his job, but I think that if Trevor gets hurt and Mac Jones looks good in that offense, Trevor doesn't.
I think Mac Jones would look like Blake Bortles.
I don't think that Trevor gets the payday that he thinks he's going to get.
And that remains to be seen. I think that they will. I mean, he went to the second round. They were pretty close to beating Kansas City 2 years ago. They did have a winning record last season. It was a collapse, but they did still have a winning record. They were in the driver's seat for the 1 seed, 6 weeks left in the season. It was just a collapse. And so I don't think his job is in question with Mac. Mac Jones isn't. That's not. I don't think that that's anything to worry about. If anything, I think it's good because now if he gets hurt, you got a guy that's played enough ball that has played in a playoff game himself. Like, there's more to me. It's more of a young, competent backup.
Okay. Hey, so
I look at it more as that than a threat to his job or payday. Like it's to me, it's much ado about nothing.
all right. So here's one last thing I definitely want to hit with you, Parlay Pete.
Okay.
We talked about this, and I was going to do a bit on it, but I think Sean Payton is one of the most overrated coaches in the league. I think that he's done right by the media, and that is reflective in how he's covered. You look at Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson didn't suck last year, you know, and
No.
and Sean Payton wanted him to restructure his deal, although Sean Payton knew that deal existed when he showed up. Shit, last year he was 3,000 yards, not great. 26 touchdowns, 8 picks. That's really great. A 98 passer rating, really fucking good with a 66 completion percentage. One of the best of his career, actually. It's above his career average. And I just sit here and I go, Sean Payton has his way of doing business, which is great. Hey, Sean Payton, do what you do, big dog. But when you didn't have prime Drew Brees on a team friendly contract, you didn't win. Why should I believe in Sean Payton? And he wrecked the Saints and then he left them. He looked at that roster. He said, I can't do nothing with this shit. So he retired for a year until he found a job that he thought he liked. And now it looks like he's wrecking the Denver franchise. Am I crazy for thinking that, or is just my Falcons bias just seeping in way too much?
Well, what it looks like at this point, once you've done this, he's got the full backing of ownership. I mean, they're paying him $20 million a year, right?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
And I think it's a 5-year deal, so he's going to be there. And I think that they knew that once they made this Russ move, that he was going to have another season to burn because they were competitive the second half of this year and kind of did make that push towards the end.
Yep.
They're going to be competitive. They were competitive, so he has the year where he could be bad, and that's going to be this year because my thought is, of course, they've really only got two options. I mean, they're either going to trade up to get probably J.J. McCarthy, if the Giants don't sneak them and get to him first. But they're probably going to trade up, give up too much to get a guy like J.J. McCarthy. So unless, maybe Sean Payton really believes in J.J., though. Who knows? I don't know. Either that or, of course, Justin Fields is sitting right there. I don't know if that would fit Sean Payton's offense, but certainly it would be worth a gamble because, once again, that's another thing where, well, if he's bad, we don't have to pay him and we're off his book. And we can just, if we're bad, we'll have the top pick next year and we'll get the top guy next season. Right?
You really think,
there's a couple of different ways you can slice it, but this year's his burn year regardless.
Do you think Sean Payton really wants to keep Shedeur in Denver?
Possibly, because I guess, he would probably be the number one guy, right? So,
I mean, you got Shedeur, you got Carson Beck, and that's kind of.
I'm a little surprised that Carson Beck is going to be, because I've read that some people think he might be the first pick. And
I watched him all year last year, and I don't believe that.
I don't know about number one pick. I guess I could see maybe in the second year if he's has command of the offense. Let's say that he comes out and he looks like Stetson, but with his frame and he adds a little bit more muscle. Okay, I could see, because Stetson balled out, but we just knew Stetson was not he's not an NFL product.
Yeah, especially with the amount that he boozes.
Right, and we're not even going to get into his personal, right? But just purely on the field, it was wow, this guy's a gamer. But it's he's just not an NFL player. I guess with Beck, he's 6'4", 6'5". He's got that. He's got the intangibles, right? And he'll be coming from Kirby, which will be a plus. Yeah, I mean, it should be interesting to say the least. But my thought is that that's what the direction that Denver's going to end up going. Like they don't really have many other options, and they're sitting at a moot point at 11. And there are certain teams that would be willing to trade back, and I guess it just depends on how the draft falls. But there's so much talent out there, offensively, which is why I love the position that we're in now, because we are definitely going to be able to select the best defensive player in the draft today.
Yeah, I like the idea of us going up and getting that solid edge rusher in the first round, and hopefully we draft a guy whose skill set and body translates to the NFL on day one.
I'm kind of leaning towards Verse. And let me tell you why real quick. So Jared Verse, Florida State. So he started off at Albany, believe it or not. Not Albany State, but Albany Great Danes. But basically, bullshit school. Didn't get noticed. Was one of those guys. He kind of played with a chip on his shoulder. And then he transfers out of Albany and goes to Florida State, and he's a two-time All-American. 6'4", 260. Yeah, I want the guy that's got that edge, that edge on him. Like, no offense to Dallas Turner. Dallas Turner, clearly he was running fast like a motherfucker at the combine, and he's clearly saving guy, right? But like, saving guys don't do that well in the NFL. I mean, they kind of get ran in the ground in college to the point where they're not that same level of superstar in the NFL. And it just feels like because he went to Bama, yeah, clearly he's a extra talent because he went to Bama. But like, I don't know, something about a guy that's got that dog in him. Like you want like this war daddy, like on the line. You want that nasty guy that's been overlooked. Like, and to me, that's what Verse is. Verse is more of this overlooked guy that's playing, with this edge about him.
Yeah, I'll tell you what I like about Verse over Dallas Turner. Dallas Turner is only 247 pounds. Verse is 260. We'll put a good 15 to 20 pounds on him when he gets to the league. Dog, 250 pounds, Dallas Turner, man. Dog, you're a linebacker.
Yeah, exactly. He's kind of more of a linebacker. And I don't know. It feels like to me Verse is more of the, and then not to be funny, but I don't know. I mean, Dallas Turner this was his first year of being a dude. Like,
yeah.
Like Verse has done it back-to-back years at Florida State. He was doing it at Albany. That's why he was able to transfer to Florida State and do all those great things. Like, and he was just obviously an already overlooked dude. So it just, I don't know. I kind of lean more towards getting Verse if we're going to go DN, which I know that's where we're going. We're going edge. And I think that Verse will be more of the better pick. But
hey, do you care about Dallas not signing any like legitimate free agents outside of golly, his name just Eric Kendricks?
If you really look at it, they don't have the money to do it anyway. But secondly, wasn't that team supposed to? This was supposed to, based on what we saw during the season, this was the best Dallas team that they've put out the last 2 years. So if he's all in on this team and saying, man, that Green Bay game was fluke, how could you go out and do something different, really? I mean, they don't have the money to do it because he doesn't want to commit to Dak again. And
I think he's going to. I think Dak's gonna get a nice deal, and it's gonna be cap friendly. Like Kirk Cousins. Our first 2 years with Kirk Cousins, it's only $25 million against the cap. I think they'll find something like that for Dak. Load up to guarantee.
Let me tell you, man, he is doing a terrible job with it because he should have did it because then they could have added more players. And so that's the thing. I feel like he's gonna make that they're gonna play it out, and that if this don't work this year, that he just gonna reset the whole shit.
I don't think a full reset is in Jerry's blood, which is why I don't think the Cowboys.
Okay, well, check this out. When I say full reset, I mean new coach, new quarterback reset,
Okay.
which is in some ways a full reset, but it isn't. Like defensively, to me, they're going to remain what they are because they're going to pay Parsons. They already paid Diggs.
You're gonna pay Bland.
Yeah. So like, you know what I mean? So like the defense will remain intact, and we know Mike Zimmer's a pretty good defensive coach, right? So like,
I like Zimmer there.
and in a weird way, depending on, but see, they'll get Bill Belichick. That's the thing. Like the Cowboys will go get Bill Belichick. So, well, I tell you what, but it'll be one of those things, just like when he got the big tuna in there. Obviously,
yeah,
it's gonna go one way or another when it comes to that. But obviously that's that's going to be the hot rumor headed into the season. How well does Dallas do? Do they, basically repeat themselves and win 13 games, 12 games? But more importantly, it'll be all about January and into February for them. If there's no success there, everything else will just be, kind of just fluff.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I know Dallas believes in their drafting, so they're gonna draft well, and they're gonna pay their guys. Parlay Pete, as we close out right here, is there anything else you want to add? Because I'll let you go. Because shit, I'm getting sleepy.
I'm glad you got me back in. We got here on the show. Of course, I'll be back to normal next week, but can't think of anything else. I mean, I guess I saw Hollywood Brown sign with the Chiefs.
Yeah. I think that's good for them. They got a legitimate deep ball threat that can actually catch the ball on like MVS.
Well, MVS caught the crucial ball come playoff time.
Hey, he caught that one, but I think Andy wants a little bit.
No, he did it twice. He did it in the Super Bowl too.
You're right. I was just thinking about the Baltimore game. Yeah. I think Hollywood Brown is better than MVS.
Yeah.
I got a question for you real quick. Do you think Dak sexually assaulted this young lady?
I haven't even read enough into it, honestly. But my initial answer will be no, because everybody is innocent until proven guilty. So
that's a hell of an answer. But you know what? Skip Bayless said all in, comma my ass.
Yeah, and that was he knew what he was doing when he put that out there.
Oh yeah, I mean,
I will say this. I don't know if you saw this too. Just to hit on a little culture. Mason Cameron.
Yeah.
They spoke on
Gil and Swag.
Did I see that in the group? Yeah.
No. I
saw that.
I got it up here, and hey, hold on for 1 second, Parlay Pete, because we can actually hit that. Hey guys, this is hour 2, man. AC Leading Parlay Pete podcast. Parlay Pete showed up, did a nice strong hour 2 with us, and we're gonna get to hour 3. Okay, guys. Hour 3, guys. Let's talk a little bit of culture, Parlay Pete, and you're going to talk about Mason Cameron, and I got that on the docket to hit for culture, and now we're here in culture, and I might hold you a little bit longer than I planned on it, as long as you're still comfortable talking. So, go ahead, Parlay Pete.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. So I thought that shit was actually funny as fuck, because it was true, in a weird way. It actually was when you break it down. And I think a lot of people don't break shit down when they see it. And some people don't break shit down before they say, people don't think before they speak.
No, they don't. They just talk.
So when you do break it down, obviously, Swaggy P and Gilbert Arenas were, I don't even know if that was on a podcast. Was that on? If it was, then they had like Swaggy P like FaceTime in, right?
Yeah. So Gil does like these live. He'll just hop on live and he'll start talking. So he brought Swaggy P in.
Okay, and of course they brought up Drea, which I think we all knew Gilbert Arenas had relations with Drea, because a lot of people used to think that her son was Gilbert Arenas' son.
Yeah.
That was that he was the father, and like she like vehemently denied it. But everybody knew that like Drea and Gilbert Arenas was a thing.
Yep.
Which good taste for Gil. But
shout out to him. That's a great place to empty the
yeah,
sack.
yeah. Shout out to Jalen Green too. I mean, you got trapped, young man, but you know what? That's not a bad trap to fall into.
Nah, some traps feel good. I'm a sucker for pain.
Right. And so she, either way, Swaggy P gets on and brings up a story, I guess, of one time him seeing Drea and him feeling sorry for Jalen Green because it's just like, I guess, I don't know, the league before him had their way with her, I guess, or whatever. And so, but he tells a specific story of, you know, him being in a car with Gilbert Arenas and with Drea, and he didn't go into great detail of what happened, but we can all kind of figure out exactly what it is.
Yeah, Gil's getting topped off by Drea in the back seat while Swaggy P was in the front and the driver was doing his job.
Correct. And, you know, Cameron and Mace just make a really good point of breaking down what that, wait, you missed it when we missed a key point. It changed Swaggy P's life, apparently. And so, you know, they Cameron and Mace make really, honestly, probably the most underrated sports show. It's got to be the most underrated sports show.
Yeah. No, it's
but they make a good point of how did you watching another man get his dick sucked change your life?
You know what? So I listened to that clip and I got a few things on this whole thing. I think it's corny that Swaggy P told the story. Shout out to Gil for trying to like, yo, nigga, chill. Yeah, you ain't got to say all that. But also because Gil runs, he's a media guy, man, you got to put that shit out because you know it's going to make you money. I also thought the first part of Cam and Mace's breakdown was corny because they were saying, "Bro, y'all only getting it because y'all can hit jump shots." Okay, nigga, you hating. You hating because the basketball players get them before you can because they got more money. That's what it is. And as a non-celebrity, non-rapper, non-athlete, any woman that I've gotten with was off the strength of who I was, off of what I presented to her. So like, yeah, big dog. I don't want to hear that. Oh, you only got it because you a basketball player. I've been out with guys who may play basketball and they may think that their game is whack, but guess what? 6'5" and up speaks differently to women. It does. So I thought that shit was corny. But the corniest part is Swaggy P getting his life changed by seeing his man's getting his dick sucked by a baddie. Like, yeah, okay, nigga, and I promise you, if me and Parlay Pete are in a car and I'm in the front seat and he's getting topped off by a highly desirable woman, it does nothing to my life.
Well, more importantly, I have to imagine you're turned around anyway.
I mean,
you're
a nigga might
fucking watching that.
Like we might be mid conversation and you may be back in the back working your mojo. And once I turn around one time and see, okay, well, I'm about to shut the fuck up and I'm gonna talk to the Uber driver.
Right.
Just so the block don't get hot. You know what I mean? Like the whole thing is just fucking weird, man. And Parlay Pete, you know, I was thinking about the Jalen's getting caught up, right? Because you got Jalen Green and Drea kind of came out in an interview and saying, like, yeah, no, I don't have a future with this nigga. I just need to secure a bag for the next 20 years because I'm getting old and the old guys don't want me, so I gotta get a young guy. And then you think about Jaylen Brown. You know, Jaylen Brown's dating Bernice Burgos.
Jaylen Brown?
And Bernice Burgos, yeah, they're dating.
Really? Like Boston Celtic Atlanta nigga, Jaylen Brown.
Is dating Boston bitch, New York bitch, Bernice Burgos, yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah, they're dating, and it's like, Damn.
Oh, FYI, and I'm sorry, I don't want to cut the middle of it just because it flashed in front of my screen. Dolphins had a nice off season as well, but continue.
Yeah. So those two are dating. I'm just like these older women that niggas may have been interested in back in the day are getting their old asses out here making shit work. Maybe Melissa Ford should hop off Joe Budden's podcast and hop on a young basketball player. Is all I'm saying.
The real question is, how many of the young cats know who Melissa Ford actually is? I feel like she's slightly before their time. Like Bernice Burgos was just topping Dracoff not that long ago. Drea's stayed relevant.
Hey, Parlay Pete.
You know.
I got a question for you.
Yeah.
If you had a max contract, would you pull up on Melissa Ford while you were in New York?
Yeah, if she was accessible, which at that point you've got that type of money and stuff, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and me, if I weren't.
Same thing with Lisa Ann. Both of them, actually, both Lisa Ann.
Yeah, no, and I'm with you.
I
Like,
know, no, Lisa Ann and then Lisa Ray. I'm sorry, they're two different people, but
yeah, so
both Lisas though.
So maybe Melissa's too old for that generation, but I've seen the Big Pimpin' video.
Yeah, I don't know. Melissa Ford, like, cause Melissa Ford is like prime time.
Yeah,
2000, early 2000s, mid 2000s video girl. Like I said, Bernice Burgos was just in videos in like 2017, 28. Like, and even though she's old, like I don't know. I feel like I didn't find out about Bernice Burgos until Drake hit me. Like,
I don't even know how I found out.
But she looks
about
great
Bernice.
for her age. But like, but Melissa Ford, I mean, that's an OG. Like that's.
Yeah, I feel like
that's an OG.
And maybe the young guys don't recognize who Melissa Ford is, but Melissa Ford is a roll of the dice for a lot of niggas our age.
Yeah, I mean, Melissa Ford's 47.
Like I'm like Melissa Ford is you might gamble important things.
You know what's so sickening? It's like Drake hit this too.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, well, I didn't realize he's from Toronto, but it's like, oh yeah, like Drake.
Well, Drake did, and like they joke about it on the Joe Budden podcast, but and they also joke about her signing that NDA, and then she gets very quiet.
Because she did.
I mean, what choice does she have?
None, and I'm sure she's okay with not kissing and telling. Not everything needs to be known.
Yeah, and
even if it's already understood, right? Like,
and that's what I get back to with this whole Swaggy P thing, man. Like, hey, bro, why are you speaking on another man's dick, Swaggy? That's not cool.
I don't know, man. 2024, I guess.
I mean, yeah, we talk about clout being like a crazy drug. Because what was it? I don't know if it was in our group text or if I just saw the post on Instagram today, but like some chick aired out Drake hitting her DMs, and it's like and the caption was, "Damn, you just blew a bag for clout."
Yeah. I mean, especially considering Drake clearly likes the trick too. Like,
yeah, dog. Let's just be real, dog. As anybody, man, woman, don't matter. You get more if you don't kiss and tell. Shut the fuck up. Just shut the fuck up. Because if you're looking for more people in that industry, in that space, if they see you out with the right people, they gonna hit your DMs. But if you get to talking, people get scared of you. Cause everybody don't want their business in the street.
Exactly. And that is exactly why you don't fumble the Drake stimulus package.
Nah, man, that's life-changing money, man. That's like getting a max contract, dog. Drake buy you 3 Birkins, you know what I'm saying? You can, man, you know what you can do with a Birkin? You can goddamn, that's collateral for a loan, baby.
Yeah, I mean that's some Berkshire Hathaway stock. You know,
Yeah, I mean,
it's not going to lose its value.
no, it's gonna go up, bro. You can sell that motherfucker. There's a lot. Look here, man. And if you get the Drake stimulus package, dog, how many other people who may be interested in you, that you can just get to trick on you just because of the Drake stimulus package? You know what I'm saying, Parlay
Oh,
Pete?
what is this? Oh no, absolutely. I don't know why. I just something just popped up on my Twitter feed. I don't know how true this is.
Well, Benzino
Something
said he
about
Benzino said he smashed Melissa Ford on a podcast. I think that's pretty corny.
wait. You say that again? It went out. It keeps going
Benzino
out a little.
said that he smashed Melissa Ford on the podcast.
Oh, he said he smashed Melissa Ford on the podcast.
Yeah, he was on a podcast. He said he smashed.
And what did Melissa Ford say?
She hasn't responded. This was 2 weeks ago. No. Where is this at? I don't know. Yeah, it was 6 months ago.
That's kind of like, well, and
She didn't respond.
it'd kind of be like how when Gucci had said he smashed, or that he didn't say he smashed him, but he said that she wanted to fuck him.
Angela Yee.
Yeah, and Gucci was adamant as fuck. He's like, I'm lying.
You know, I believe Gucci in that moment because he actually said it to her face.
Well, there's that, and then that was like post jail Gucci too. So
Yeah.
it wasn't like the nigga that was just tweeting out shit.
You know, I just think
Right, and he did it right, and he did it right in front of her.
I just think it's like super fucking corny.
Yeah, it's definitely a corny move.
Like, it's one thing to talk about it amongst guys. Yeah, you know what, women, guys fucking tell. We talk about it with our friends. But come on, man. You saying that shit publicly? Like, for what?
Well, what do you? Yeah, what my biggest thing is, what are you getting away from it?
Cause like when we talk about who we've touched, a lot of times it is to level set for our friends. Because we move in similar circles, we run into similar people, and we want to make sure our niggas are spitting the right type of game. Cause it's like, hey, cause I know, I'm sure you've ran into it, Parlay Pete, I've ran into it, where you and somebody else somebody could be moving with somebody, but they're doing it low key, and then like y'all pop out somewhere and you see the energy and you go, yo, she was over here last week. or you was like, yeah, nah, I was in her DMs and yeah, we got something set up for tomorrow, actually. You know what I'm saying? Like, it be that weird shit that happens. So like, yeah, like we be talking, and in the group text, like nobody gets brownie points for knocking somebody off. Like, oh golly, that sounds just vicious. But like, you don't get cool points for fucking somebody, even if she bad. Like, it's just like, okay, yeah, nigga, I don't expect you to fuck ugly chicks.
Right, that's the expectation.
Yeah, but thanks for letting me know. So like, I come with the right approach to make sure she knows, like, any of this fake boyfriend shit you want out of me, it's not happening publicly. Yeah, nah, I'll take you out for dinner and drinks, but we're going to my spot. We're not going to dinner and drinks at the homecoming function. Like, no, bitch.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Hey, we're not going out of town.
yeah, no. Now we can meet up out of town, but like, we're not going. No.
Yeah, we're not going on vacation.
No.
Not.
Like, you can stay at my.
That didn't happen.
You can stay at my hotel or my Airbnb, but like I'm not paying for your flight, dog.
Yeah.
Let's see what else. I got a couple other things for you, Parlay Pete, since we're here. Doc Rivers talked about wanting to stay with the Clippers and seeing certain guys get jerseys get retired. Anybody from the Doc Clippers run from the Clippers, do they deserve to get their jerseys retired?
Let me tell you, that was an interesting thing. This is what I'll say. If you look at it from a league standpoint of what was done in the run, like Chris Paul's jersey probably does deserve to get retired.
Okay.
Because during that run, let's see, I'm looking at it right now. He made 6 All-Star appearances. He was All-NBA first team 3 times.
Okay.
Second team 2 other times. So he's All-NBA 5 times, 6 All-Star appearances. Oh, and he was all defensive first team too. So like Chris Paul, he led the league in assists 2 times, and he led the league in steals 4 times. So Chris Paul's jersey has to be retired by the Clippers just because of what he was as a player during that period.
Chris and Blake,
so
that's all it is for me.
His for sure has to be retired. Blake, let me see.
I'm going to say Blake because of the attention that he brought to the franchise, and the Clippers don't really have important people's jerseys retired. So, like, what do you
And I think that is fair, too, because Blake is a 5-time All-NBA, never first team, but he was a 3-time second and a 2-time third. And he was a Rookie of the Year. He jumped over the car.
And Chris and Blake together brought relevance to the Clippers. Now, if you want to talk about DeAndre Jordan, his jersey should be retired at his high school.
But here's the sneaky part about DeAndre Jordan. I probably wouldn't do it, but he made an All-NBA first team and 2 third teams. So that's 3 All-NBAs. Obviously All-NBA defensive team twice, and then he led the league in rebounds twice. I don't know if that should warrant a jersey retirement because he was there for 10 years, but I mean, that would mean that at least 3 out of his 10 years there, he was one of the best at his position.
Yeah, and that was sad.
So a third of his career there, he was one of the best at his position in the NBA. Now, this was obviously prior to when they changed the All-NBA to where you didn't have to have a center, right? Like
maybe you retire his jersey at A&M.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you. You can't just keep retiring people's jerseys. Like, but whose jersey is retired with the Clippers now? Maybe Danny Manning? Maybe?
Let's see.
Would that even be retired? I don't even know.
Let's see. Clippers.
Who are the Clippers' all-time greats?
Retired jerseys. I'm looking it up right now. The Clippers don't
have any jerseys retired.
Yeah, so just throw Chris Paul and Blake Griffin up there. I think that's a good start.
I think that would be fair. Maybe Elton Brand potentially too. Maybe.
Fuck no.
Well, I mean, what do you think? Elton Brand is really good with the Clippers.
I don't think Elton Brand was a good enough NBA player to get his jersey retired.
That's true too. In reality, but I'm just saying. I remember, like the Baron Dave, like it was always Elton Brand was always one of those players. They were like, man, can somebody get this dude like some help?
If you're gonna retire Elton Brand's jersey, just go ahead and retire Quentin Richardson and Darius Miles' jersey because they brought cultural relevance.
Throw Lamar Odom in there too, right?
Yeah, I mean these guys brought cultural relevance to a team that had none. Chris Paul, Blake Griffin, that's enough. Put Doc Rivers in the fucking Ring of Honor there. I don't fucking know. Let's see a couple other
Vinny
things.
Del Negro.
Golly, Vinny of the niggas.
Yeah.
A couple other things. This 65 game rule is actually going to affect some NBA players this year.
A lot of them.
And, you know, some would say that it's a good thing for the NBA because it's making players play. But you know what it's also doing, Parlay Pete? It
It's
is
taken away.
it's taking away, but it's gonna put people on all NBA teams who are then gonna who are gonna be eligible for supermax contracts who don't deserve them. And I don't think every team has the same balls that Boston has to where or excuse me, that Charlotte had with Michael Jordan to not offers Kemba Walker a supermax.
Yeah, yeah. But the league is also increasingly getting more talented, right? So like, it feels like there's always plenty of guys that are left off that shouldn't have been.
Well,
Although there
let's
are players like let's name the players this year that won't be getting the awards, right? That would typically, like Embiid, of course, would be on one of the All NBA teams. That's no doubt.
Yep.
Spider probably
Spider
just because of how well the Cavs have been playing.
I'm pulling it up right now. So let's see. It's Joel Embiid, is Donovan Mitchell, Julius Randle, Chris Stopps. Here we go. Zach LaVine, Ja Morant, Embiid, Bradley Beal, Evan Mobley, Darius Garland, Chris Middleton, OG Anunoby, Kyrie, Chris Stapps, Julius Randle, Jimmy Butler, Donovan Mitchell, Jamal Murray. Devin Booker's close.
Brad Beal.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Brad Beal. I don't know if I said his name, but yeah. Devin Booker's close. Halliburton's close. Trae Young is close, and he's going to hit it. Zion is close. Bam is 6 games away. Bam is 6 games away. LeBron's like 6 games away because what is it? 65 games. What is 82 minus 65? That's like 17, right?
Let's see.
17, yeah.
But yeah, it does blow, and I say that because I am looking at this.
Cat's not gonna get there.
Sengun's not gonna get there, and a lot of people would maybe consider him most improved.
Yeah, and I also think he could be a third team All NBA big. You know what I'm saying? Pause.
Potentially.
Yeah, so I think the spirit of the rule is good, but like, let's see. I'm just gonna.
Well, do you think that maybe what it should be is the number should be lowered maybe to 55 instead?
Or maybe the game should be lowered to like 70.
Okay, just have less games altogether.
Yeah, I think they should have less games because I think you get, less games. People care a little bit more. I mean, but we know that's
now.
That's
not going to happen.
No,
right?
because they're not. No, the owners aren't going to give up.
Hell, they basically, even though they tried to dress it up that way and they had to fix the schedule after it happened, they really low key wanted to add more games. That was really them adding that play in.
Yeah, we haven't talked about this in depth, but with the NFL trying to add the 18th game, I think that is fucking bonkers. Now,
it is. I'm tired of it because it rewrites history. And it's like,
as a season ticket holder, I do appreciate it because that's one less preseason game I have to pay for that I'm not going to. It gets me another home game. But yes, I think it's terrible.
But to me, the NFL's ultimate plan, they're not going to be able to move a team to London. I think that they're just going to have a London package where every week there's a game played there.
I think they're going to try to move a team to London. I think they're going to
logistically, I don't think that shit's going to work.
I think they're going to try to I think they're going to try to build a European division where there's 4 teams over there.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to work.
I don't either. I think it's ugly, but I think that's what they're going to try.
I mean, I get it. I know that they said that there's a jet that they're right now that like in 3 or 4 years, a flight from New York to London will only be 3 hours. But like,
that's a bad watching experience for California, man.
That too. Yeah, there's that aspect of it.
And
let me tell you too, another thing, because obviously the next thought is everybody's like, well, what about when they try to get the Super Bowl over there, right?
Fuck no.
Because you know that's coming. They're going to try that.
Yeah, but
now obviously the game would have to be at like 9 p.m.
But those Europeans don't deserve the Super Bowl. Guess what, guys? We don't care about fucking Champions League that much over here. And guess what they're not trying to do? They're not trying to have the Champions League they're not doing a Champions League tournament in the fucking United States.
Yeah, they'll bring a game or two over here, but
yeah, they'll bring a game or two over here. They'll play against the fucking national team. They'll play against a MLS team and kick their fucking ass. Like what we got the email earlier this week. One of the teams from Europe is playing at the Benz, and they're like, "Hey, get your tickets early." Nigga, no, I'm not going or selling. But like, no, bro, like. I promise you, this is not like some racist ass shit. You don't have to expand into every market. Keep it exclusive. Keep football American. If you want to enjoy football, bring your ass to America and pay some fucking taxes over here, goddammit.
Yeah, or just, buy the flight. You know? I enjoyed going over there for the game because, I had been to London before, but like it was cool. It was, it was just a different experience. I enjoyed myself over there. It combined two things I like to do. I like going to Europe and I like Falcon football. So it brought two of those things together and it created a unique atmosphere and viewing experience in a stadium I never, thought that I would go to. Well, obviously one day I would love to go see a tennis match over there, but like, it brought together something. I think it is good for the league to have those games, right? Like the one in Brazil.
Yeah.
They haven't announced who's playing the Eagles yet, right?
No, I don't think so. I haven't seen it.
Wouldn't it be great if the Falcons' first game was that Friday, and it's going to be a Friday game? Wouldn't it be great if the Falcons played the Eagles on that Friday? I would love it.
Parlay Pete.
I'd love it. Only because it's going to give me an excuse to go over there.
Parlay Pete, I want to stay married, man. I don't want to go. I don't want the urge to go to Brazil for a weekend.
Yeah, but what a
I love my family.
Hey, Kirk Cousins, like the debut thing, that shit.
Yeah, no, I love my family. I've talked to people who've gone to Brazil, and every person I've talked to who went to Brazil, they said they didn't want to leave.
Yeah, well, I've heard a lot about what goes on over there. In most South American countries, actually. But maybe not so much Argentina, because I've been to Argentina and it was not granted I was out there with at the time my woman, but like
that doesn't sound like fun.
Yeah, well, I don't know. It didn't seem like it was like the other place. It didn't seem like it, and maybe I just wasn't in the right area. But
you weren't in the right frame of mind either, man. You were on good partner time.
Well, right. I already had my cake.
Yeah. So yeah, you weren't at the buffet.
I guess maybe there was that aspect of it too, but we went out. I'm just saying, I just didn't get the same vibe of a Colombia or a Brazil, or certainly I've met some Peruvians, so now I kind of know how that goes. Like, I didn't get that vibe, I guess is all I'm saying. I didn't get that vibe, but I've heard about Brazil. I've heard about Colombia.
Yeah, me too. And I don't, and now that I'm married, I don't want to go to any of those places.
Football game would be great, but
it's not the only balls getting played with if I go there.
I think it would be great.
Jokes. But yeah, man, that 65 game rule, man, they're gonna fix it because when Pascal Siakam comes asking for a supermax.
He said Pascal Siakam what?
Comes asking for a supermax. Somebody's gonna be pissed.
No way he gets on that list, though. I mean, we could run through who pretty much is going to be all NBA.
Let's see.
Let me see.
I'm pulling it up right now.
Because only two people are really fucked that are not going to be on it. I think that Tyrese Halliburton is going to push through this last month, so he's not going to be ineligible. He's got 4 games he can miss. I think unless he actually gets hurt, he's going to suit up in those games.
So I'm looking right now. First team,
Book,
Jokic.
to me, Book wasn't going to make one of the teams anyway.
We got Jokic. We got Shea. We got Luka. We got Giannis. We got Kawhi. First team. So Kawhi, Giannis,
Luka, Giannis,
and
Kawhi, and Jokic. Yeah, that's your first team.
And second team I'm looking at, this is on Bleacher Report. They got Book, second team. They got Spider, who's not gonna make it. They got KD, they got Tatum, and they got LeBron.
Okay, solid group for second team. I think for sure Tatum, LeBron, and KD are all second for sure. So they're all second, and then you're saying Mitchell and
Spider the guards. Spider and Book. So Brunson probably moves up to that second team, or Halliburton. One of them move up to that second team.
Yeah.
And then we got Steph Curry, but he's hurt right now. This is ugly. And Edwards and AD.
Okay. I mean, the only person that's
golly, it's a lot of guards.
Maybe undeserving. Possibly in a weird way, I hate to say it, it'd probably be AD.
Fuck no.
And I say that in a sense of I'm saying like Embiid would have had one of those spots, and AD would have been the person that would have walked out because of it.
Clutch and AD bumps somebody like Brunson off because he doesn't have the pedigree. Like,
but Brunson's having too good of a year. I mean, I'm looking at AD. I guess AD's 25 and 12.
Yeah,
but that seems like his standard numbers.
But he's also like, he looks like DPOY.
But here's the thing with Jalen Brunson. He's on the Knicks. He's averaging 27 and 6.5 and 4 boards. Wow. And he's doing it in New York, and the Knicks are a top 5 team in the East. Like,
wow, I'm looking at.
He just had 45 tonight. Like, I don't know. I feel like he almost has to deal like this year.
I'm with you. I'm looking at DPOY, the DPOY fucking odds. AD is plus 5,500. Bam is plus 4,000. Jared Allen is plus 3,000. Wemby's plus 1,000.
And plus, I'm not trying to be funny.
Rudy is minus.
All NBA is not all NBA defensive.
No, it's not. But like, I'm thinking like what AD's been doing defensively is like he should get some DPOY chatter.
Where's Wemby?
Wemby is behind Rudy Gobert. I think Wemby should be the favorite.
Yeah, I mean, the way that it's looked.
I mean, but AD's averaging 2.5 blocks a game.
Man, what's Wemby average?
Around about the same. Let's see. I'm pulling up right now. Wemby
3.4.
3.5. Fuck. Another.
Yeah, and you got to think, he really came on strong more so in the second half, to where he probably.
And he's not even playing.
That shit's probably because of how slow he got started. Yeah, if he started off fast, he would have easily been at 4.
Yeah, because I mean, AD's playing 7 more minutes a game than Wemby and averaging a whole block less, and 2 rebounds more. Like, Wemby is. You know what? Wemby's proving me wrong, and I'm happy about it.
Look at when you type in Wemby stats on Google. Look at the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 games that he's played. He's missed 2 games in this span of 10, but in his last 8 games, he's had double-digit rebounds in all of them.
13 and 10, 27 and 14. He missed 2. 10 and 11, 31 and 12, 28 and 13, 17 and 13, 22 and 10, 27 and 10. Let's look at his blocks.
Now, and everybody's got to remember, this is still a rookie.
Yeah, like his blocks are 2-2, 7-6, 5-4, 5-5 in his last 10 games. It's fucking nuts.
Yeah, I mean,
now Wemby's him.
yeah, the guy is he's gonna be a dude in this league.
Hey, Parlay Pete, do you what March Madness bracket do you think gets more more looks, men's or women's this year?
You said whose March Madness bracket gets more looks, him and who?
Men's or women's?
Well, the men's always. I think that when it comes to the women's, it's gonna be down to that Final Four. Like everybody's gonna want to see where LSU, South Carolina, and Iowa are.
And I think USC too. Like, don't sleep on Juju.
Yeah, okay, yeah, and USC. And I'll tell you a team that's so good, low key, that doesn't get talked about in women's college basketball that I've enjoyed whenever I can. Because Bovada doesn't put up women's odds. You have to bet on it live.
Okay.
You can't bet on it beforehand. Virginia Tech women, they're really good. They're really good too. But
really,
yeah, they're really good. They shoot the ball. They shoot the three. They're probably the best 3-point shooting team in women's college basketball. They're really good. They're well coached. I like to. Put it this way. Hey, they're a dark horse team. They're not going to win it all, just because South Carolina probably is. But like, they're one of those teams that you should have as a dark horse, like Final Four, depending on where they get placed in the bracket.
Let's see. I'm looking at they're 13 in the fucking poll right now too. Yeah, that's a nice dark horse. They're probably going to be like a 3 or 4 seed.
Yeah.
I've watched some women's basketball. South Carolina, obviously the best team in the country. They found some 3-point shooting this year, which they didn't have last year. I watched Iowa and Caitlin Clark in the Big Ten championship. And dog, if Caitlin isn't scoring, they're not good.
You said if Caitlin doesn't score, they're not good.
They're not good. Like Michigan could have beat them in that Big Ten championship. If they not Michigan, sorry, Nebraska. Nebraska could have beat them in the Big Ten championship if they could have scored in the second half. But like their scoring went dead. USC is a good team, dog. Like they lost. Excuse me, they won the Pac-12 championship, and Juju played like shit. Like she was not good in the Pac-12 championship.
That chick also, when I've looked up, I've seen games where she's taken 34 shots and had 32 points. So
yeah, nah, she's a bucket. Like her, damn. She's averaging 27 on the season. 27 and 7 rebounds. And what I like about what Juju brings is she's gonna carry the torch after Caitlin leaves. I think Paige is gonna come back for another year. So she can be the face of women's basketball, and we can like really give Paige her respect because Paige, she averaged. Let's see. Let me find this. She averaged 21 a game, and nobody talked about her.
Who?
Paige Buckers.
Oh yeah. You're saying UConn, yeah.
Yeah. Paige at UConn. I think she comes back next year. She puts up big numbers. She's the face, and then when Paige leaves, it's going to be Juju's college basketball, and hopefully we have another woman who steps up. But women's basketball is on the rise because we have women's basketball players who are cut from the Maya Moore, Diana Taurasi cloth now with Paige, Juju, goddamn Caitlin Clark. You have Flage to swag out there with a little rapping ass. You got LSU. But speaking of USC and LSU, I didn't really like what Kim Mulkey had to say after that game. I didn't like what Bayou Barbie had to say after the game. You know, they had a little kerfuffle, a little scuffle out there. And Kim Mulkey was like, it would have been different if Angel Reese would have got pushed. Once the scuffle happened, Angel Reese walked away because Angel Reese knows she has too much money riding on it. She's not getting into a fucking scuffle during a game.
Well, right, and I think that's what we saw on the video, right?
Yeah.
It was her like she turned and looked and then like started walking away.
And then Kim Mulkey is like, dance, puppets, dance. Yeah, nigga, go out there and fight and look stupid. And I'll come out in the press conference and say how that's not who we are. That's not what we stand for here at this program and make you look crazy. That's how I looked at it. I thought it was nasty by Kim Mulkey because Kim Mulkey doesn't have the best track record for supporting her players. But I also think
Kim got it.
Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say Kim's got her natty, her second one, right? Or did she win 2 at Baylor?
I think she only won
one.
one.
We know that she got one with BG, right? So,
yeah. Let me see if I can find this post real quick because
Kim's point is Kim's got her hardware. She not giving a fuck. Kim's priority in the Hall of Fame.
Oh, she's definitely in the Hall of Fame. Let me see if I can find this post. Because I didn't like what Angel Reese said after the game. I thought it was a crock of shit. Let me see. Scrolling, we're getting there. Also, Joy Taylor and Taylor Rooks talked about leaving pregnant women alone. I think they should get pregnant or shut the fuck up.
Right, because neither of them are mothers, correct?
No, they're not mothers.
I don't understand how people can speak on stuff that I don't know.
Like, I didn't even listen to it fully in context, but I was just like, yo, shut up. Oh, here we go. Here I got it right here.
We're not going to make that an excuse. We're not scared of South Carolina, and I'm going to repeat that. We're not scared. And a lot of people are them, and we came in and battled and battled and battled and battled and battled to the end. And of course, we came up short, but we'll see them again, or whoever will see them again. But I'm just happy, and I'm going to acknowledge my teammates first because Janae, Aaliyah, they came off the bench and did big things for us. Michaela, she was frustrated because she had to do minimum numbers.
Parlay Pete. I don't know what the hell happened. I was playing the Angel Reese piece. Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, but long story short, Angel Reese said they did enough to win, but they lost the game. So I don't like shit like that because you didn't do enough to win. Because if you did enough to win, you would have won the game.
Right, you lost.
You fucking lost. Except that you lost. And she said, we're not scared of South Carolina. And that takes me to the Shaq post saying players don't fear LeBron like they feared MJ. Does it matter if you're afraid of a nigga if he shoots you in your face? You're still dead.
But you know, here's the thing too. Shaq, the guy in the media, and Shaq actually he played against both and with one of them.
Yeah, he played with young LeBron.
And I'm sure technically, I mean, I know the All-Star game doesn't count, but I'm sure he played with MJ on one of the All-Star teams, right? Like,
yeah,
right. I'm sure there was a time where Shaq was a Magic before he went to LA that him and Jordan were on the same All-Star team. But now the real question is, what was the point of him bringing it up? In what context was that even brought up?
I don't even know the context because I don't listen to Shaq's podcast.
You think Shaq's a bad podcaster?
No, I don't think it's a bad podcaster. I just listen to a lot of podcasts. I have a full-time job. I'm a part-time student. I'm a full-time husband, a full-time dad, and a full-time podcaster. I don't have time to listen to everything.
Yeah. He's just not at the top of the list.
No, because I know I listen to Shaq on Inside NBA, and nothing on Inside NBA says Shaq's going to give me great fucking analysis.
Yeah. Well, who knows? Maybe he did it to get a couple more viewers.
Yeah, and I get what I get it because of the way that LeBron plays the game. but I think fear is overrated because let's look at the result. Again, I ain't got to be scared to get my ass whooped, but if I lose the fight, I still lost. Scared or not,
That's true.
I've played basketball with niggas I wasn't scared of, and I still got my ass bust paused.
Yeah. And I guess you have to ask yourself, though, you know, I don't know if it was necessarily to downsize LeBron in that moment. I think maybe he's just trying to distinguish some of the differences in the two, maybe.
I think so.
Because I think Shaq likes LeBron. I mean, he didn't get him another ring, but
Yeah, no, I don't think he was saying it like on some Paul Pierce type shit.
right.
You know, Skip's new co-host. Um, I just think that
You mean his new jig?
I didn't say that. Not publicly.
Yeah, but it's the new jig.
I mean, look here, man. Dick got a DUI, so he's got to go. Somebody's got to come talk hoops and not just Rachel Nichols.
Right.
And they're struggling for ratings, so maybe we get Shaq and Paul Pierce shitting on LeBron. That'll bring the viewers back.
Well, interesting move by them to get Paul Pierce of all people, because I just don't know. Because think about it, it's not like they're just. And I get it, they're in the prime of basketball season right now, right? Like we're heating up for the playoffs. This is the stretch run to the playoffs, and then you don't have a culmination of the playoffs all the way to the NBA Finals. It all ends, June, right?
Yeah.
And maybe that's why. That's the only reason. Because I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, now, how much fucking football are you going to really get out of Paul Pierce?
How much football do you want out of Paul Pierce?
Yeah, well, exactly. Do you really want to hear Paul Pierce talk about DeAndre Swift going to the Bears? Like, do we want to hear about Caleb Williams getting drafted by the Bears? Like.
I don't want to hear Paul Pierce talk basketball because I've heard it before and it's not good.
Yeah, so I don't know. Interesting move by Fox.
They're desperate, man. They're just. I mean,
well, especially considering Paul Pierce's, I guess, his history to a degree.
Oh man, he just had a little bit of fun.
Yeah, I mean, maybe so, but I don't know. Doesn't seem like a good move by Fox, and I think it'll end up showing in the ratings again.
Well, that network is cooked in that time slot, and they just need to give it up. If we're being honest, Shannon,
or create a new show and make it different.
They're gonna have to move Nick Wright into that time slot if they want to get any type of ratings out of it. But I doubt that Nick Wright's gonna want to move into that time slot because he's got the highest rated show on Fox right now. Why would he leave a time slot to compete against Stephen A. Smith? Because Stephen A. is the GOAT, you know. He's the guy who said that Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's name is too long to be the face of the NBA. Despite the fact that his game is not face of the NBA game, and we just need to give it to Anthony Edwards after LeBron retires. But what do I know? I just consume.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it just isn't going to work if they try and do the same thing, and letting Shannon go was their biggest mistake.
Hey, question for you, Parlay Pete.
Answer for you, AC Lee.
You saw LeBron and his owner and her best friend all cozy at the Lakers game this past weekend, right?
I did.
Did you see the photo of LeBron and his family at the USC game over this past weekend?
I did. Unfortunately, I lost money on that game too. It came down to the Arizona pick, and USC somehow won, and then they played again today, and USC got blown out by Arizona.
Not
kind of like what I was thinking was going to happen on Saturday. I think it was Saturday when they played.
Did you see the photo of LeBron and his wife at the Oscars after party?
No, I did not.
Her face didn't change from the night previous at the USC game.
Are you trying to say that he's in the doghouse?
He may be sleeping in the master, but he's not cuddling in there.
Or he could be sleeping in another master bedroom in the house, you know.
Yeah. That's what I'm kind of getting at. And
yeah, I think I saw somebody saying, "Oh, you know, she got LeBron sleeping on the couch." And then somebody did comment. They're like, "That nigga ain't sleeping on no couch in his house."
Fuck no. But I empathize with LeBron here because I think it's an unfortunate situation where you have people being too friendly with you and you're not being friendly back, but none of that shit matters because it's not that it happened. It's that it happened and it got captured by camera. And not only did it get captured by camera, the blogs took off with it and the comments went crazy. And I'm sure some of these fucking tools were tagging Savannah in their fucking responses. And even if they weren't, she saw it. And she saw those comments. And now LeBron is sitting here like, yo, I was talking to my owner. Them bitches was drunk doing some extra shit. I wasn't fucking with it. But I'm just thinking, it may have triggered something in their past that caused her to become upset.
Well, and Twitter was letting them have it. And you know, Twitter is a ruthless place.
Yeah, man. So, LeBron, I stand with you, big dog. You did what you could in that situation. You are trying to get that next max deal, so you got to play nice with the owner. And hey, Savannah.
Oh, and you're trying to get a statue, apparently.
Yeah. Hey, Savannah. You wouldn't be here if it wasn't for this nigga putting balls in baskets. I ain't saying you got to accept it, but this is a short argument. This is the argument where you just get your shit off. And I kind of tell you how I feel about it, and we're kind of and from my end, we're done here.
Yeah. We stand with you, Bron. Even though you do look like you're a part-time comedian the way you have them laughing, that's for sure. But
hey, man, Parlay Pete, I don't really have anything else on the docket, man. Thanks for calling in. I really appreciate it. I definitely enjoyed it. It was nice to talk to you. Anything else you want to add before I get out of here? I think I'm going to close it with a little monologue, and then I'm going to call it a night because it is 2:26 Eastern.
I think that's going to be it for me. Obviously, great that I was able to get on. I wasn't sure what time you were going to be recording and stuff, but regardless, I'll be back in full strength next week to handle my duties as normal.
All right, man. Sounds good. Thanks for calling in. I'll probably call you drunk at some point this weekend.
Okay, fantastic. I look forward to it.
All right, dog.
All right, take care, brother. Salutations, good people.
Yep.
All right.
Hey, guys, that was Parlay Pete, man. And going to do the show a little bit differently since he wasn't here face to face. I'm going to close it out here. Keep it on sports. Owners are too impatient. With the money that we see flying into sports, you know, the owners can just make all these rash decisions because it doesn't hurt their bottom line, doesn't hurt their pockets. But I imagine for the owners who accumulated their wealth outside of sports, it's not just about wins and losses. It's about creating a culture. It's about building a team. It's about getting the right people in the building to do what you want to do long term. And what we see too often is owners pulling the plug on coaches, pulling the plug on GMs, pulling the plug on key players before they've had time to mature and grow into who they're supposed to be. Now there are times where you see it's not working, fire them. But it's really important to have stability in your organization. It's important to have stability in your franchise because you can't hire the best of the best if you're turning over personnel like you're an Amazon distribution center. You can't hire the best of the best if you don't show that you have an established culture. You don't have a way of winning, a way of being successful that those who are competent can see. Because we have to remember in sports, the owners don't necessarily have the background in the field to properly lead the team. They just have the money. So I say this to say, owners, have some patience. Don't be so quick to move off of a guy because the result's not what you're looking for. Is the process what you're looking for? Because when we're talking about sports, building a culture, getting the right people in, the right players in, it takes time. And sometimes your process may not get you the result you want today, but it can work tomorrow. Patience is indeed a virtue. And this is a virtue that we need to see more often in sports.